So did you watch the whole show yet? Dark.
Oh, I finished it maybe last year and a half ago. It's really good.
Oh, so you
You know
watched it
what?
already?
I watched it already. What's up, everybody? No intro today because damn YouTube started flagging me because of it. So now I got to go edit a bunch of videos or tell it to edit. That way I could still monetize, even though I'm only making like 3 cents a video now these days.
But
not making much on it. I was gone. We were gone last week because I was out of town in Georgia, and it was a cool trip, man. That airport sucks.
that's what you were
That's
saying.
the busiest airport, and looks like realists would say buns, dude. It's bad. At least the section
like
I
that.
was in, Atlanta airport, fucking sucks.
So do they have two like we do, or like you used to?
I think there are 2, but I went to the busy one, and
Oh,
in the corridor I went
so
to,
no excuses.
it must have been like an old section of airport because it seemed like one of those small town airports. It's just like one corridor. It was awful. And then you go to restrooms and you would think, oh, we're in the most busiest airport in the country. You're gonna have like this massive restroom. Fuck no, dude. 3 stalls, 3 urinals.
Wow, that
I was
sucks.
like, come on now. Come on. This is
That
Atlanta.
fucking sucks.
Nah, it was
That's
terrible,
not cool.
dude. That airport sucks, man. I don't know what
That ain't
anybody
cool.
says. Like I said, unless I'm in the old part, not in some new one, because I don't know how many wings that place has. But it was terrible. And then getting the rental car was easy. Going to the counter was easy. Leaving took about an hour because they have 3
What?
3 little exit booths. And of course, they got to take their sweet time to inspect, scan, and make sure whoever's driving is supposed to be driving the car. It's bad.
Wow.
Yeah, it was bad. And then when I dropped off my car, you drop it off, go on your way, come home. I started setting up my expense report and everything. I'm like, okay, I haven't got my Hertz receipt yet, right? And I look it up and I'm like, your receipt's not ready. And I'm like, all right. So I call the next day and I say, customer support. I say, what's going on? I need my final receipt so I can do my expense report. And they ask for my information. They're like, when did you drop it off? I was like, what do you mean when I dropped it off? I dropped it on Thursday, 19th. Oh, it shows it's still out. It's not out because I dropped it off at the airport at 11:30 in the morning. Okay, well, we're going to have to put a closing request here and everything, so it's going to take a couple of days. I was like, God dang it. It's like, all right. And so they finally closed it out. They closed it on Sunday. And when I get the receipt, it says they're charging me $700 and something.
What?
I'm like, there was no way for 3 days it was $700 and something. Right? And so I look at it, they're charging me for 6 days.
What?
Because the day they closed the receipt or the order,
Oh, and it was still counting.
they were still
because they
counting
fucked
it. And I call back and say, yo, good job with giving me the receipt, but bad job on when closing it because I wasn't there for 6 days. I was there for 3 days. And they're like, oh yeah, when did you drop it off? So I dropped it off the 19th at the airport garage or the rental return place at 11:30 because we had to get there, 2 hours before the flight started or I had to go. Okay, well, it's going to take 72 hours for it to close out. I'm like, oh my gosh, another 72 hours. So I finally got it done yesterday.
Oh.
Finally got it done yesterday. I was like, I'm never getting Hertz again. I never had that type of issue ever with anybody.
Wow.
And then I come back and I'm sick. And I'm still sick.
Wow. You caught the plague out
I
there.
got the plague out there. But
Where were you at
Remember,
again?
that's where The Walking Dead started, right?
Huh?
Then The Walking
Where were
Dead
you at?
started.
Wait, hold on. I just said like I remember. I just asked a question. Where did you go again?
Atlanta. Well, then I had to go to Columbus.
Oh.
To the Columbus.
Oh
Georgia.
man.
Yeah.
Columbus, Ohio.
No, Columbus, Georgia.
Was
It's
Georgia?
down, down
Okay.
over there by close to Alabama.
Well, Georgia messed you up like that? That's not cool, bro.
Yeah. Well, that's where the zombies started,
Get the
man.
dirty-
It's a zombie
it's-
apocalypse.
Right,
That's how
right.
The
I
Walking
forgot
Dead
about that.
started. Oh, Punny is in the house. What's up, Punny?
Punty, what up, bro?
Good
Steve?
dude, funny.
So, yeah.
Hopefully we see
So
Goo
I could be
Goo
like
Poe.
going
I heard from him last night.
later on, because that's where the zombie stuff happened when The Walking Dead was Atlanta.
Mm.
Where it all started.
See,
I
kill
took
us,
my
bro.
ROG X, my LIX up there. I
Mhm.
hooked it up to the TV, so I was able to play, full on Xbox on the TV with my controller. Unfortunately, I
Nice.
only got to play it once because those other 2 days I was there, I was tired, dude, from working, and they took us out
Oh,
to
they
eat
work you.
to dinner and drinks. So I was like, by the time I got back, I'm like, dude, I gotta knock out,
You got to work, bitch.
Yeah, they got us to work, man. And they took us out to nice dinners too. So I was like, full.
Where'd
I
you
was
go to
like,
eat?
just enough for one like Netflix show, and I was like, all right, I'm going to bed.
Where'd you go to eat?
Some local places there that they took us. I don't even know what the names are, but it was pretty good.
Yeah,
It
what they
wasn't
have?
cheap
Like,
either. Yeah, it wasn't cheap.
what you have there? Like, you gotta give more
I
details. than
had
that.
what the hell did I have? Some like fancy lasagna that they had. Some Italian place. And the first place was where did he take us? I forgot, dude, but it was good. I know it was good because I ate everything.
You cleaned your plate every time, huh?
Yeah, I cleaned it up, man. It was good.
Nice.
And then came back to work on Friday. This week.
Damn.
Yeah. But it was good. It was a good time. I wonder where Punny's been, man. Why is he hiding?
No, Punty, why you been hiding?
Right near the beach.
Yeah, near the beach, man.
Yeah.
We still hear it on him. Jeez. Yeah, you are. That's that sick cough. I can tell the difference.
Man, I told
It's
you.
not a clearing your throat cough. That's a sick cough.
They have water too, man. I don't like drinking water, but I got a bottle of water with me too.
Wow.
And but yeah,
Get well.
I've been trying to finish up Ninja Gaiden Raid Bound, man. I'm almost done with it.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you this. So, like I always said, the difference between that for me, at least for me, between that and Shinobi. Now, I have a history of Shinobi, but I have a history of Ninja Gaiden too. But I was always more of a Shinobi fan. But anyway, Ninja Gaiden, my critique was the jumping and the requirements of you got to do it exactly to the timing they tell you. There's no real leeway controls wise. The controls are too strict.
Yeah,
that was my complaint. What do you think about that? Because apparently you played it more than I tolerated it too, so you must at least
it's a lot of timing. It's a lot of timing. Because you gotta platform you're gonna like bounce off, kind of like Mario, like how you bounce off a turtle shell. You gotta do that to get to higher levels. And then there's one point because there's a spirit that takes over that is in your body. And sometimes you have to switch over to the Spider Clan girl that's in you.
Yeah.
Right. And she has a timer, so you can't be like in her form for so long because it'll time out and you have to start all over again. Right?
See? Yeah.
And so you gotta be like on point when you're her, because there are like refill stations, like orbs that let you like refill her meter. But again, if you miss them and you get hurt, and then they kind of hold you back a little bit, you got to start all over again and everything. So yeah, but it's fun overall. I mean, it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, when I saw it, it looked dope. I was like, "Oh, I'm so hyped!" And then
the boss battles is a bitch, though.
Oh man,
like I don't see how anybody can do it the first time. Right? You gotta play a few rounds of the boss battles and lose.
You gotta get good
to kind of understand what the pattern and everything that's going on. Yeah,
sucks, bro. I don't like that.
Shinobi's
not easy though.
Hey, you can dumb it down. If you want to see the story, you could dumb it down, man. Make it easier for you. So that's what I did.
It's not even about that, because Shinobi with the bosses, it takes a couple times even for me, but it's not like where it's super anal retentive about it. That's my problem with the game. Like that's why I don't like it as much. Right. But like Ninja Gaiden was kind of always like that with the NES games, right? And then with the Xbox ones, they ramped up the difficulty in a different way, right? And once you really learn your timing and defensive controls, you're good.
Yeah.
Right. It's crazy how when it came to the series platforms, I think when they reported all the early Ninja Gaidens on Xbox, right? Then I played the first one. On my first try, I beat the first level and got like the highest rank.
Yeah.
You know? And damn, I would have thought, because I remember when the first one came out, that was what, 2004, 2003? I was like 23, 24. I'm like 40 something now. Back then when I played, I was probably like 44, 45. I'm thinking, oh, geez, why would, not in my 40s now, I'm doing better I did in my 20s in that game? I don't know. I guess, you know, over time you learn stuff. It's not just about performance or whatever, but geez, like that's my critique on Ninja Gaiden. But I mean, but then they have the newer one, the one that Platinum helped make, Part 4. Yeah. That looks really good. I haven't played it yet. No, I played it 4 yet. I haven't played. It's installed. I played the demo though. I liked the demo.
That's good.
That they had.
I finished it.
Yeah. Yeah, you finished it already?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. Yeah. But also, I haven't even begun High on Life 2 yet.
Yeah, me neither.
Right? And then it comes to I come to realize, you know, I was late on the first one, remember?
Yeah, you were.
I was super late on the first one. And then I had stopped, and and then, you know, I finally got into it again because you kept telling me about let's do it. And I'm like, oh, all right, fine. I'm like, oh, shit, let's do it. Now I get it.
You're all about it.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'll get to it. But the same thing also happened to me. Well, not in a way. It was kind of different with Hi-Fi Rush. Because I don't remember if I played it day one, but I played it pretty early. And I was playing it for a while, and then I had stopped playing it. I was like 2/3 of the way through, maybe.
Yeah.
Right. And then I was cool with it because at very first I wasn't catching the timing with it.
Yeah.
Right. And I put it down.
That's
what happened. I
put
it down.
The wolf battle was the best. If you ever got to the wolf one, that one's like
I beat the game eventually. But what happened was, I remember now, it was the timing. At first, I just wasn't clicking with the timing, so I put it down. Then I picked it back up and I beat a couple levels. I beat a couple bosses, and then I put it down again. Then I heard, oh, they're selling the company or whatever, right? And all the drama behind that shit. You know, come to find out, you know, most of the staff had already left before Microsoft even fucking bought them anyway. So who gave a fuck? But whatever. And then the other company who buys them is finally like, oh, we're not making a sequel to that anyway. So it's like, oh, so Microsoft gets all this blame for bullshit, but whatever. Anyway, so when that happened, I was like, oh, right, I need to finish that. I like that. Let me go back to it. And I did beat it. But the thing that really irked me was the achievement for beating the game was still a diamond achievement by that point.
Man, see, that's why I don't even deal with achievements anymore.
Yeah, but it's not even about the achievement. It's about the fact that if it's a diamond achievement, that means it's rare. That means most people don't have that achievement. So all the shit talking that people did about, oh, Hi-Fi Rush, people need to play it, oh, they love it, blah, 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 blah. These people didn't even beat the game neither, but they were talking all this shit and particularly mad at Xbox, you know, for selling the company or shutting down the company.
I finished it.
Like, right? Yeah, but I finished it. I'm just like, the fuck? Like, all these people talking this shit didn't even beat the game. Yeah. And I'm looking at people I know in my friends list, you know, on people I know who was talking that shit. And that irked me. But, I mean, that's going to be a theme for today anyway. But, hey, is that Kieran I hear just pop up? I heard a ding. Somebody popped in. There you go, bro.
A little ding ding, like, hey, watch that.
Ding ding
Hello,
ding.
my friend.
Ponty. How you doing, Ponty?
Ponty is back.
Punny's in there somewhere.
So that's what we've been playing. So Realist, what you been playing, bro?
Ain't played yet. Played a cookie game.
I think he finally stopped playing that. I think he said he finally stopped playing that last time.
He picked up the sequel.
Cookie Cutter 2? There's a sequel? Oh no, that's why he's probably not answering. He's too busy playing it.
He's too busy playing Cookie Cutter.
Or he muted himself or whatever, because we don't hear nothing. Really?
Cut more.
Yeah, I was hoping he just missed his mic or something, but I guess he's away.
Cookie Cutter 2.
I jump on and he mutes. I see how
I know,
is.
right?
Cut
So Kieran, what you been playing, bro?
Yeah.
I'm boring.
Didn't play nothing.
Spider-Man remastered DLC. Liking that?
I thought you were done.
No, I'm done with a story.
Oh.
I'm playing DLC now.
What was the DLC?
Oh, you play Miles Morales, you mean?
I haven't played Miles Morales yet. I bought it though.
You're playing a DLC. Oh, there was a DLC for
remastered. Yeah.
Oh, right. Because I always treated Miles Morales like it was.
I mean,
DLC.
it isn't DLC on remaster. It's all part of the game, but it's listed
right.
as remastered. So, playing the second out of 2 out of 3 on that. I have been doing a little Helldivers. Finally got sick over level 10.
10, so, yeah. I finally got my rover, baby. Yeah.
Got to play with our buddy Beast. It's been a while. So, yep. Let's see.
That's nice.
Started playing the Outer Worlds last night.
Start that too. Let me start that.
Because
Part
I
two or
want to
part
play
one?
more of. I've been doing this Final Fantasy achievement run, but I also want it especially because of the 25th anniversary, and because I want to get more value out of my Game Pass. I want to go on a Xbox run
Before they close
but
it.
I wanted to. They ain't gonna close it, but whatever. We'll talk about that in a minute. Yeah. So the Outer Worlds has been on my list because the Outer Worlds 2 came out, and I'm like, I can't play 2 until I play 1, and I've always wanted to play 1.
It's not long either, so that's what makes it.
No, but the reason why I hesitated on it was because, man, I am about RPG'd out. No
Yeah,
lie,
you play a lot
man.
of RPGs.
Dude, I've been like, Sick knows, I've been playing Final Fantasy games since January of last year. I'm on 13 now. Dude, I've been like, I got my 600th achievement in Final Fantasy games, period. Yeah.
Skip the ad. Don't make them no money. They ain't giving you no money.
No, they ain't giving me any money, but
Account, that's why.
yeah. Is there anything else I've been playing? I mean, we finished Marvel, but that was a couple weeks ago. Although Sick, boy, that Maximum Collection though, it's screaming
Yes,
to me, man.
right?
Right? Those games,
My
brought
one
back memories,
concern-
man.
The one concern about that is Maximum Carnage on Super Nintendo. The music was like real, AC/DC shit like that.
Yeah,
Most
I
people
played
don't
on-
realize that's
I
what it
played on
was.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, it was real. Like, no reason I know about that is because the Angry Video Game Nerd mentions it. So that's the reason I know. So what I'm saying is, I hope they don't, change the music in the Super Nintendo version of the game, because that would suck if they did that. But I could see that being a thing. Now that it's known, it's actually,
Well,
real
they can break
licensed
off
music.
ACDC. They're still alive.
Dude, they're
AC/DC,
still
they're
touring.
they're not doing that.
I saw a clip
know how
of
it
them.
is.
I saw a clip of them 2 days ago.
Mm.
They're all in their 70s and they're doing their 2026 world tour.
Yeah.
I'm like, man.
I'm sure
people-
they wouldn't.
people are
But see,
making-
the thing is, they can't be greedy. Go ahead.
They can't be
No, I
greedy.
mean people are making making fun of them. I'm like, dude, you wish you could do that at 70. What are you talking about? Like, come
Yeah.
on, man.
Yeah. I don't know how
X-Men
familiar
and
you
all
are,
those-
Kieran, but like Earth, Wind, and Fire, people like that, I think they start dying off. But those
Yeah, one of
dudes
them
were
died, at
in their
least, or
70s,
two of
still sounding good, bro. Like
Yep.
if you can do
Yeah.
it, do it.
Yeah. Well,
Speaking of
I
Earth,
have,
Wind, and
I have.
Fire-
I mean, I was watching this video the other day of like a 30-year-old rapper that was watching Phil Collins, and it was like one
yeah,
of
you
those
shared that to
reaction
me.
videos.
Yeah.
And it blew his mind because he didn't really know the song. It was "In the Air Tonight," which
Yeah.
most people know, and it's been used in hip hop before.
We at least know the music.
Right. Well, they didn't know like this white guy comes out and he's just walking and being nonchalant in the middle of the song. He gets on the drums and he starts singing and doing his riff on the drums. And he's like, he's singing and playing the drums at the same time. I'm like, yeah, brother, this guy was the dude. This guy knew how to play.
Yes,
back
they
then,
do.
man.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
wait till he finds out about Bobby Caldwell.
yeah.
Yes. Most people
Yeah.
didn't know Bobby Caldwell was a white dude. But speaking of white dudes and funky white dudes, like in the movie Paid in Full, right? What's his name from Rockefeller Records? I forget his name, but he's dying for money and his big mouth put him in situations, but whatever. He made sure in that movie, because it takes place in the early 80s, to make sure that they had, some Phil Collins and stuff like that too. Because in the hood back then, we were listening to those, those artists in there, because rap was still a new thing. It wasn't blown up like it is nowadays.
You were not there with your Adidas and a cardboard and like breakdancing.
My Adidas and
I don't know,
cardboard.
man.
Okay, the
I-
cardboard happened, Adidas, but a lot of the big early rap groups weren't even. This is '84 that takes place,
With your
right?
big
So
boombox?
a lot of that wasn't really. The boom boxes were out there, shit like that, but we were still listening to a lot of these funky white boys out here making good music too. Phil Collins, all of that. Like, people don't really realize.
I will say this.
Context.
I will say
yeah.
this. There's lots of things that have evolved and gotten better.
Mm-hmm.
Music, in my opinion, has not. I will still take about the 80s to about early 2000s compared to the industry today. Like I'm not saying that there isn't bad acts. There are some really good acts, but I'm talking about overall every genre of music back in that time. I'm really glad that I grew up during that time and not growing up this time, because I mean anything from country to hip hop to I will still take the old school. Yeah. I mean, I think we were really spoiled back in those days.
Particularly our age group. But that's also the thing, and I'm not saying I disagree when I say this, but it always happens around this age time, right? That you start to feel that way, like current music is shit because they thought that about our music back then.
I don't think it's shit. I think it doesn't. I think.
It doesn't resonate. I get
it. It doesn't resonate. I mean, there's some good acts. There really are some good acts. But I'm just talking about like just the pure list
more
of
not
names.
than is. But there's more not that is. And that's my perception of it too. I just remember and is humble enough to realize, bro, they said that about ours in our time.
Now, I will say this, those acts back in those days, they know that, because if you're going to a concert today and you're watching one of those bands from that have from, you know, the 80s, 80s to 2000s, you are paying a lot of money for those tickets. I don't care who
nowadays.
It is.
Yes. Yeah, nowadays, yeah.
It's like I used to go to more concerts when I was younger than I do now, because some of the prices of everything is insane. But
I used to go to BuzzFest all the time down in Houston.
Dude, I used to go to Rockfest.
I went to Summer Jam, shit like that in New York. We had Hot 97 did that.
Sweating balls.
Dude, it was, I remember they had like, I think Rockfest was at a Texas Motor Speedway, and at the time it was like the biggest single day concert.
There's no shade there either.
No, there wasn't. They actually had ice blocks you sat on. It was like 500,000 people there.
It was like an amphitheater, an outdoor.
Really, it's getting back to you.
Yeah. So you can sit under the shade at least, you know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you need that.
Out.
Yeah, but really, it's getting back to you. What you've been playing, bro? Because we asked you before.
I wasn't gonna let y'all slap because I always like me on that. But I heard you ask, but I had to take a phone call. Man, I went back and I've been playing Octopath Traveler.
That's a good game.
Better too.
Good game.
And
cut more cookies.
Octopath Traveler is what I would have probably put the most hours in this week. Outer Worlds. I think I've been putting no. Yeah, if you want to call it a Switch, I like to call it an Xbox. Those types of games are perfect for mobile. I understand like why JRPG's been blowing up on the Switch. You know what I mean? But like, it's good for battery life. It's just like I like the story. See, at first, you gotta be invested in the story to play JRPGs because they're not necessarily fun. Like when I play, I want my games to be fun. That's why I always was like, the first one I played was Zelda. I didn't really like it. It was somewhat action, but it was like I don't like command boxes. So anyway, and there was another one that I played that like fight, run, magic. I didn't like that, but now it's like, especially when they make it look cool, but still I didn't beat it, but to this day I think Expedition 33 is fun. You know what I mean? I've been playing 10 for the past 2 years. I never beat it, but I've been playing it when I feel like it because it's still an acquired taste. But I'm just gonna keep playing this Octopath Traveler. But if that's one, it's either that one or the Outer Worlds 2 that I put the most time in, because I've been hearing a lot of people talk about it. I was like, man, I'm part of those people that didn't really put the work in on that game, but I got so many games to play. And it's like, so I went back to it. I'm like, and I know the way I play open world games. I'm 100% quest. That's what I'm doing. I'm going like I don't know if you guys have played the Outer Worlds too, but you've got optional paths to take to get across that bridge, and I'm taking all of them. Like, so when I get to the bridge, I'm just gonna walk through. You know what I mean?
I never understood people that play open world games and they're like try to rush through it as quick as they can. I'm like, that just defeats the whole purpose.
That's all.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is these games are long, man. I remember what's the name? Legal still laughed. He was how he tried to get me to help him with Dying Light 2.
Dying Light, yeah.
And he was like, man, I really just want to go everywhere. I was like, dude, there's everywhere to explore. You just want to go straight line it because I can. Because when if you're carrying somebody, they don't have like grappling hook and all that stuff,
Right.
but they get teleported to you. But the way the game that I think made me I mean, when I was a kid, I guess I was a hardcore gamer, but I was at the mercy of Blockbuster in my mama's pocket or my daddy's pockets. But so I played a lot of games, but the game that made me say, "Man, I'm a hardcore gamer" is Morrowind. And that game, it just had so many places that you could go visit, explore. I played that game for 6 months straight, and only
It'll put
that
hair
game.
on your chest. That's what that game will do. It'll put hair on your chest.
And it was the game. It was the game of the year version, right? That came on Xbox. So I had the Blood Moon and what's the other one called? Tribunal. I had all that. So man, 6 months straight, and there was a code. It was like white, black, black, white, white, black, black, white, A, and you can feel your magic, or it was different combinations, and you could feel your magic. You didn't need potions, and it still took me 6 months to get through what I wanted to in that game. But yeah, those.
You get ready because Crimson Desert ain't gonna be Crimson Desert.
I've been waiting to say. I didn't want to interrupt him. Like that's gonna be the one for him, and I mean in general. Yes,
that's gonna be
I think I'll be able
game.
to beat. I think I'll be able to beat Octopath Traveler and definitely Octopath Traveler because I can play that, and that's the beauty of a JRPG too. Like you're not gonna forget the buttons. You know what I mean? Because like whenever I drop a game that's a big game and I come back to it, I forget how to do what I want to do, and I gotta remember that.
It's not like a fighting game, right? That you haven't played in a while. It's like
yeah. Well, shoot, even like let's just say I want to, because I didn't finish like Hearts of Stone or Blood and Wine, and I go back to Witcher, or I didn't do Liberty, whatever it's called.
City Stories.
Liberty, what is it? Rising Liberty, Falcon. What is it called? Tech, Cyberpunk.
Phantom Liberty.
Phantom Liberty.
Phantom Liberty.
Oh, I remember.
Like, I didn't touch that.
Witcher's
but like you told me, Tech,
system
you like covered everything on Cyberpunk before the update. So you play games the same way. I still want to finish Death Stranding before I get on the beach.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna get that on PC. I'm not gonna pay $70 for it, but I'll definitely pay $50. But that one, and I started High on Life, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna save that one.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
You get. Oh, let's do it. Like you walk in on let's do it, getting some buns in the beginning.
What? What? Why you spoil that for me? I didn't know about that.
Let's do it.
Oh, I thought you would have played it. You told me you were like it's like the very beginning of the game. It's like a cutscene.
So you spoiled the Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. I did not know,
bro. Of everybody, I thought you would have been the one to.
I was just talking about this earlier.
You said it was okay to spoil things for you. You were just talking about the
no.
show
I said about this one other thing, and then when he asked, I said I'm not going to spoil it for him. So
okay, well, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything. My bad. I thought you. I'm not saying anything else about it. But I put about 3 hours into that one. You got the skateboard now.
Yeah.
But I was like, man, let me just because Octopath, they had it in Game Pass, and then they had it get both of them for like $40 because they like. I mean, I have respect to it, man. I think that gaming should do that. I think that things would change if people would value themselves, these companies, because like dropping these games at $20 just makes people buy games because they're cheap. They're not playing these games. I know I'm not. You know what I mean? So a lot of these Japanese games, even though they look like they should have been $30, they won't go below $30. Like all these FromSoft games, some of these JRPG, like Ys, I'm still waiting for Ys to drop. Ys 9, I think that's the last one. Ys 9, I'm still waiting for that one to drop in price because I got the other ones. And shoot, Keysight is still $50. No, it's like something Nordic. Right? Is that still 9?
Yeah, I think that's 9. Yeah.
Okay.
Something Nordic. Yeah. I think that's 9.
Yeah, but like, those are the 3 games that I could say that I'm like put some work in on these past 10 days.
That's cool, man. That's cool, man. Yeah, you've been busy.
But yeah, hey, honestly,
click on them games.
Who said that Octopath was a good game? When I said Octopath, that's a good game.
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
So Yeah, I mean,
I
like
did too.
the story was good. The story has been pretty compelling so far. Like, because I went to the dancer first.
Usually when there's
And
a top 10 or top 20 RPG of all time, Octopath is in there. It's in the
it's
top.
up there.
It's in
Yeah.
the top 10. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's like barely like it's like in the mid 80s though.
I know, but it's
People
it's
keep
still
returning to it
heralded
on
it.
all
Yeah, it's
platforms, on all
heralded
platforms.
as one of the best RPGs of all
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
Because even though it's not
I'm
graphically
enjoying.
amazing, whatever, the gameplay about it is tight. It's deep. You get a lot of of content. It's not about everything else is on point. The graphics is retro, but
Yeah, I mean, it's not a modern RPG by any means, but
Right.
it is. But it's still
you'll
kind of
spend
reminds.
hours.
It kind of reminds me of like Final Fantasy VI.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people have Final Fantasy VI up high, including me.
A
Everybody
lot
talks
of them
about
have that one as
7.
the best.
What?
No. I don't have it as
Yeah.
the best, but 6.
I'm
6
saying
is still.
most people say it's the best though.
I
Yeah,
think
6
I
is
think
still
it's the best.
top. 6 is still in the top 3 for me in Final
Yeah.
Fantasy.
Yeah. Agreed.
Okay, because my boy, what's his name? Morty. He told me that 6 is the best. Mortivori or something. He used to be called.
Is he in Australia? But he's like Russian, really?
Yes.
I know Morty.
Yes,
We talk in the
he's a
Discord.
Russian. He's a Russian who lives in Australia.
Yeah, he's cool dude.
Yeah, he
6,
is.
6 is the
and
best class system.
And I think he beat 7 13 times. He says.
Wow.
But then there's another one that he says the best. I can't remember, but he says 7's not the best. It's just the best selling.
Yeah, it's the best
But
selling.
Most people I hear say 6 is the best. But if y'all, I don't know. I'm sure y'all have noticed 1 and 2 Pixel Remaster are in Game Pass, and I want to get to those because the Pixel Remasters don't go down low enough in price for me.
I bought the
it's
whole
like
collection.
You
You're
did?
telling me
Yeah,
Game Pass gives you a lot of value.
It is actually Game Pass had a really
First
good
they put the first one, and then they put the second one. Eventually, I think they're going to like take out the first and second one, and they'll do the third and fourth, and then eventually swap those for the fifth and sixth. Eventually,
price at $29.99.
Eventually, all 6 will have been on Game Pass at one time or another, but maybe not all 6 at the same time.
And they're relatively short too. 1 and 2 is about 15 to 20 hours. It's not that bad.
It's not that bad. But then the 4th, 5th, and 6th are pretty long, and all of those are Super
Nintendo. Fourth was the Final Fantasy 2 that we grew up in North America on.
Yes and no, a little bit. Like we got the easy mode version that came out like years later. Like a year later, they came out an easy mode version in Japan, and that's our 2, the easy mode version. Not even the full one.
3 is kind of
Fantasy back then.
3 is kind of goofy to me. It's
3
just
it's
just goofy.
Was Famicom only. Yeah, we didn't get the real 2, the real 3, and then after 4, we didn't get 5.
5 was okay.
5 was really good too.
6 also has one of the best villains too, by the way. I'll throw that out there.
Kefka, yeah.
I can't do it. It's bad. Yeah. You'll know the laugh if you hear it. It's like
once you're like you want to kill and you and the
it's
game
a Joker ripoff. I mean, let's be honest. It's the
Yes.
Joker ripoff, but it's great.
Yes.
So
yes,
yeah.
He makes you really like he's such a villain where you want to see his downfall.
Yes,
you're motivated to defeat him for sure.
Yes, and the best and the final fight with him is actually very cool looking. I will say this: the way they do it without
the way he's like sitting down, like he's a god, like he didn't give a fuck. And he's like
yeah. The whole I don't want to spoil for anybody. It's one of the coolest final fights of the series. I know a lot of people. There's some Final Fantasy. When you rank Final Fantasy games, you have to be careful because there's the age-long debate of the traditionalist versus the modern, where that's turn-based. I don't want to play turn-based. I like it now. And then you got the traditionals like, oh, it's crap now. It's not even a real RPG, And I like both, I'm fine with either one if it's done right. But yeah, 6 is still my top 3. 13, I'm about 2/3 done. It's very linear, which is surprising to me because 12 wasn't. So, it's an okay.
Linear always gets me, by the way, folks.
What's that?
I don't know. Linear.
It's linear, the way I say it.
I caught that.
It's really Well, 12 was more open world and a little more, but it's really like you're on a road. And the game doesn't really open up until like there's like 13 chapters. I'm on chapter 11 and it's now opening up. And I'm like, it's kind of late in the game. All right. But it's not bad. But everybody's told me that 13 isn't the one in the series. 13-2 is the better one. So that's what I've been hearing. So I'll probably like 13-2 better. So, but
and then there was 15. Did you ever play and beat 15?
I've completed 15. Yes, and I actually liked it. It didn't. Well, I finished 15. I finished 15 years ago. I finished 15 years ago because I returned to Final Fantasy on 15.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't play. I played 11, but I didn't play.
But before you talk other ones, I just want to say about 15.
Yeah.
15, it wasn't linear for then there's a part, and they tell you once you go through the thing, they're like, "Yo, you won't be back here for a while."
Yeah.
And I don't know the context of what, because I never beat the game actually. Right. But then it's very, very linear. But from what I'm told and what I read, because I started reading ahead to see what's going to happen, because once it said that to me, I'm like, oh no, let me find out if there's anything I need to do or whatever. So I started reading up, and then it come to find out, oh no, it gets very linear from here on in, but eventually you get to go back to the area. Spoiler alert.
And that matters when you're
it's like in the past or whatever. It's like in the past or some other shit. And then after that, it gets all linear again. So I'm like, oh, really?
And I don't mind it. I mean, if it's done right, it makes sense. I don't mind it. But 13, I would say it's a middle of the pack Final Fantasy game. It's nothing really special to me. So, but it is all right. Yeah, Octopath is really good.
Before y'all swap,
yep.
I know that I'm learning that there are common things that are uncommon to me because I'm new. Right. What does the configuration? Okay, let me see if the assembly, right? The one on the back means something. The one on the to the left or right means something. You know what I mean? Like, let me see if I can articulate this better. Let's say you have 3 enemies and one of them's big. But behind that big one, there's an enemy, and beneath it, which would be probably to the right, is another enemy. Which one should you attack first? Because the one in the back means something. Like who's in the front, who's in the back, and who's in the side. They all mean something. You understand what I'm saying?
Usually the one in the back.
Your character's reach, though?
Huh?
Which game are you
talking about? On the game. It depends on the game.
JRPGs.
Oh.
Which one?
The ones in the back, at least in my experience, those are the ones that are killing you with the damage, though. So if I can get that guy in the back first, I can. The question is can I get him in time before the front guys get happen? Right.
Yeah.
Because another one that I like that I want to go back to is Bravely Default, and it's the same thing. Like whomever's in the back. You're supposed to attack them in a certain order because the one in the back is doing something, and I wish I could explain it, but y'all know because I know you're supposed to attack one of them first, and maybe and I know just like any other game, they're ads, but you're supposed to attack one first. But I don't know.
That's what trial and error is.
One game was like that, and to me, it barely depended on my character's reach, my party's reach. So one could reach, some can reach further than others, right?
It depends on the game with that. Yeah.
Did E33 do any of that? I'm just curious.
No.
I don't
really. Okay. That'd be kind of interesting.
The only thing it did is that if you try to do physical damage on certain enemies, they will dodge the hell out of you. You can't do anything. You gotta use some sort of magic.
I love games like that, though, realists that make you think, like you're instead of just buzzing
strategize.
Right? Because there are games. I mean, there are some games like even Final Fantasy. There are some games that I played where, if you got to attack that guy first, because if you don't, you're getting wiped. And
E33 is like that.
Yeah. So
you said E33 is like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I just know that in these, like the like I guess you would call them classic ones, you're supposed to attack them in a certain order because the one on this game, there's always one in, especially on a boss. There's always one in the back.
Yeah.
And you end up getting occupied with those while the boss is doing big damage. So you got to figure out who to attack first. But I'll figure it out.
I'll give you an example.
Oh, go ahead.
I'll give you an example. Now, this is Chrono Trigger. Usually, you're seeing from above, looking down. But like the final boss, right? He'll be the boss and two satellites, right? And it depends. But at least in Chrono Trigger, in that final boss, if you hit the one with a physical attack, he's weak. It was weak to physical. The other one was weak to magical attacks. But if you hit if you hit them with the wrong one, they have like an attack that's really damaging unless you super or max level, right? And even then, it's going to hurt you pretty bad. So you were supposed to do it a certain way, to where you get the satellites out of the way, then you can hit the main part of the boss, right? Because that's when you can really because the two satellites are protecting the big boss, right? Like the main part of the boss. And a lot of games have situations like that where the objective is truly to hit the one in the back, because that's really the big bad, and the little smaller ones are just there to protect it, right? And to keep you occupied and do other shit where you can't really do the damage to the target that you really have.
Or they
right?
provide shield for the main
or
boss.
shield or whatever, or some kind of punishment or some kind of distraction to keep you from doing what you really need to do, right? And so it depends on the game and how the details work out with that, but generally that's what it is.
I will say this though, I mean, in my experience, JRPGs messes around with that more than the Westerns do. There's more of a puzzle
element
a puzzle element when it comes to fighting in JRPGs that you don't see a lot of in Western RPGs. Yeah. Western RPGs is straight up grind, get yourself badass, and just go through them. JRPGs, you could be a badass and still get wiped because you're like, oh, that ain't gonna work. I got to do it this way. And it's trial and error a little bit more. There's a little more imagination, especially in the retro games. Because I'll come in like my party's like buff to the gills, and I'll still like get my ass handed to me, and I'm like, because you're not supposed to do it that way. So, the beauty of the Japanese.
Oh, sweet. So, shout out to the homie MJ Dark who just messaged me on Discord because I was telling him about it. So, just a little quick thing. There's this developer by the name of Infidelity. He's been taking a lot of NES games and porting them to the Super Nintendo. Little fun fact, the Super Nintendo's chip is really just a 16-bit version of the one in the NES. So that's why when you see Mario All-Stars, all the physics and stuff were the same, because the programming is literally the same. So what he's doing is he's been taking a lot of classic NES games and porting them to Super Nintendo. And they'll do other things where not only does it, the graphics are usually the same, right? But because it's on the Super Nintendo, a faster, more capable machine.
You remember when we used to keep up with the bits on these consoles?
Yeah, when it actually, because back then it actually 32. Mattered. It actually mattered then, right? It was actually elite. It was actually elite. So it's either greatly reduced or no slowdown, right? They'll add little things here and there. And with Super Nintendo games in the modding community, what they have is where they do like a virtual Super Nintendo CD, aka the original concept of the PlayStation, where there's like CD music tracks and stuff like that, but in a Super Nintendo game, right? But this is an NES game ported to the Super Nintendo with a virtual Super Nintendo CD with lots of, what's that thing they call it? Not ease of use, life. I forgot the term is, but
quality of life.
Modern quality of life fixes to games. So he just did one for Super Seed that just dropped, right? And crazy. I'm gonna drop the tweet, and just the tweet alone will show you what I'm talking about. Let me just copy and paste the link. But he has a bunch of these. The guy's name is Infidelity. He does these all the time. So you'll see that right there in the box art. And at the time I've seen he was working on potentially doing where in Contra 3 you could swap between the two weapons. You could hold the weapon in reserve. I think he was working on putting that into this game too. This is Super C. He did Contra 1 already, where he used the Japanese version that had like an intro and like cutscenes in between each one. And you could download the ROM with everything all packaged in already right there in that mega link that you're downloading.
Oops.
So yeah, don't do that.
Oops.
But like, yeah, guys, just click on the box art. You can make it full screen. I'm pretty sure that's the box art, so you can see the art that they do. You see MSU1 media enhancement. That's the CD soundtrack thing I'm talking about. And if you want to hear the old music, like the old Nintendo music, it's still there too. There's options, all types of quality of life stuff, right? And he's done Contra 1. He's done all the Mega Mans. He's done Kid Icarus. He's done a lot of the classic Nintendo games, right?
Goonies too?
No, I don't think that's ever gonna happen. I don't think that's ever gonna happen.
I actually liked that game when I was a kid.
I know, but a lot of people think it's a shit game, and generally it is. But I mean, for the time, right? It's what we had. But yeah, man, this just dropped, so I'm excited to see that because I was telling my boy MJ Dark about this. He likes Super C over Contra, so yeah, shout out to him for letting me know or returning the favor about that. I'm gonna download that ROM now. Oh, Super C. No, because it had a code for 10 lives instead of
30.
Instead of 30, but it was a harder game on top of that. Super C, baby. Super Contra. Oh, another game that dropped. Oh, damn, I forgot to mention. Damn. So
you know what they need to do? You know one game he needs to do?
Sonic Mega Mix.
G.I. Joe.
Well, they did do a game. Well, the NES game. Yes,
I only recently
learned about that.
Yeah,
I only recently learned about that. That's really actually a fantastic game. People don't know
good
about, because it came out when the Super Nintendo was already out. People didn't know. So here's one more you could put up. Sonic Mega Mix Mania. So this, if you're a Sonic fan, like if you played Sonic Mania and you really like that, this is fantastic. You buy Sonic Mania on Steam, you install this mod, and it's a full Sonic game. Levels, everything you need. There's a video right there you could play. You'll see what it looks like. You could full screen it. You could put the soundtrack to it. You could full screen it. The little button is there. And yeah, so a lot of these indie games are out here, bro. They're doing God's work. Let me tell you. They make it's fully free. You buy Sonic Mania, which I think is like $5 in the past couple of days. It's been on sale, and then you install the mod on top of it, and then boom, you've got this whole new Sonic game to play.
Movie with it?
What movie? The movie? Oh no, buy the movie, man. I'm sure you can rent it for $5 or whatever. It's a dope movie.
I don't want it.
But yeah, these little indie games, man, or like the mods and stuff. When we grew up, we were kids, but now like it's just like with the Marvel movies, right? Like the fans are adults now, and they're the ones in the industry, in the movie industry or the game industry or whatever, and they're doing what they want to do, right? So this is why Marvel movies have been out for all these years, and now you have all these. They do what they want. There you go. And I mean, look at just the website alone, all the work they're putting just to the website for a free mod.
They do need a new G.I. Joe game.
Yeah, but the G.I. Joe game, I did ask Infidelity if he would port the G.I. Joe game, but he did do he did do the other Contra game that really isn't a Contra game, Contra Force. He did port that as well.
I didn't even play that.
Yeah, because it wasn't really a Contra game. It was some other game that they had canceled. It's supposed to come out in Japan. And they were like, let's just bring that out in America. We'll slap the Contra name on it. It was like half done and kind of broken.
That's probably why I didn't play it.
Yeah. And it was out after Super Nintendo was already out. So NES was kind of, it's the same thing with G.I. Joe. A lot of people didn't know that was a great game. So I've asked Infidelity to do that. Maybe it's on his list. Maybe he'll do it. Maybe he won't. I don't know. Hopefully he does. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, man, a lot of indie games and stuff, people out there who care about games and gaming, right? Who's doing passion projects. But bro, I guess we gotta talk about the elephant in the room when it comes to people who love games, man, and with the whole Phil and Sarah thing.
Well, before we get to this, I feel like there's two sides to this. There's the business side and the gaming side. What do you want to talk about?
I think I'm gonna say this. I think they were invited to retire. That's it.
He was, but I've heard from.
I think he's ready to retire.
Okay, the reason.
I think he was ready to retire too.
Okay, Rilis. Okay, so listen close because I'm gonna explain something to you that you didn't know. But you know how, I was so adamant that Crimson Desert was going to be Play Anywhere. It's because someone told me. And he told me how to find out and how to look. And there's flags out there to let you know early on. And he told me about it, right? The same person also has told me that about a year ago that Phil was looking to retire, but that wasn't that much of a secret. Some people had heard about that. And, it's been in conversations, right? So it's my opinion. I don't think he was forced to leave or anything like that. And he's been there, and there's like a whole situation that happened, I think today or yesterday or whatever, like a goodbye type situation.
Yeah.
And Sarah was there too, I believe. So
was
that
she?
Doesn't come off. I think Sarah was there. No. I think she wasn't.
I didn't see her. I saw.
Phil was there. But Phil was
Major
there.
Nelson was there.
Major Nelson was there. But remember, Major Nelson took a picture with Sarah too. So I'm not really sure if Sarah was there or not. But I know Phil was for sure. Right. So if they had forced him out, I don't think so. He was looking to retire. That was pretty clear. He wasn't.
I think when he lost the weight, he was.
Yeah, he was losing weight for his own health. Yeah, he was transitioning to retire. That's when I first started noticing that, and that was my opinion before anybody had told me otherwise, right? Or to really confirm what I thought. But I don't think he was forced out. But what happened with Sarah was
he was invited.
Right. No. He was already looking to anyway. So that was going to happen.
I mean, a lot of people. I mean, people forget he was also an EVP.
Yeah.
So I mean, it wasn't just CEO. I mean, look. I'm not as old as Phil is, but even I'm starting getting into that age where I'm like, 59. What do I want to do? That's what I'm saying. Like, the age of when I want to retire and the goal of when I want to retire is creeping in my mind more than it ever has before. Yeah. This is not this is a thankless job.
Yes.
That dude has taken more arrows in the last, how long has he been in charge? 12 years now?
Yeah, and
he's been in charge for about 12 years, and he worked there for 38. I mean, he that dude has got more arrows slung into his back than anybody in gaming.
And so hang on. I just want to finish the point I was making though, because I definitely
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's cool because I know you have something major you want to say, and I was asking ahead of time, make sure that you give you your space to say what you were going to say, but. I do not think, number one, he was forced out. This was something that was known for a while. Now, the Sarah thing, it seems to be she was passed over because we all understood that she was supposed to be the one to inherit the reins, right? To take over his spot. And he was training her for that. And she was
the Phil hire.
Yeah, she was the Phil hire and so important.
Where Asha is the Satya hire.
Is the Satya hire. And she feels like she was passed up. Right. And I heard from someone else who said when they saw Sarah, I think last year at some event, and they were like, and they were asking her, so I forget the phrasing was, but something about like she's supposed to be next in line when Phil retires. And she was like, I don't know who told you that because they haven't told me that. That's what Sarah said.
Yes.
Right. So
which they wouldn't tell her that. Most time they're not gonna tell you that.
Right. And so just overall, and number one, there's the scapegoating thing, and I think that's part of what you want to talk on. So I'm not going to say too much so after you speak, but like it's a whole ball of wax, right? People who are against this hire are now against, and vice versa, right? Everybody just wants to be all right and all knowing, or at least seem to, or look to be, or present themselves to be. And this is what I said on Saturday on One Away Dragon show. Hey, it's okay to not know. How about we just don't know and stop pretending like you do? You don't know everything. Yeah. We all don't know everything. And a lot of people
we know nothing, Jon Snow.
Right. And a lot of people are just trying to put their opinions out there to present themselves like they're all knowing and are not humble enough to just realize they're not, right?
Well, sometimes it comes off that a placement like this with Asha, it just seems like, oh, you want a yes man.
Yeah. Right.
Instead of somebody that's independent and goes against the grain, if whatever.
Yeah, like Sarah did. So the last thing I'm gonna say are two things. Number one, it's hard to be humble and just act and not act like you know everything, right? Because I could just be an asshole and lord over people my knowledge and stuff. And I don't do that. I'm taking a lot of L's behind that, but I'd rather be like that than be an asshole because I know people who do it and I don't rock like that. So it is what it is. But Sarah, right? But when it comes to Sarah, she put in a lot of work at T-Mobile, Tyson Chicken, and Asha has a similar pedigree in other things. She's the type of person you put in when you want something to expand, to grow. She's done that before, and they're hoping she could do this now. She doesn't have a lot of knowledge in gaming and stuff, but she's saying some of the right things. And at first, it seemed like a lot of pandering. It depends on who you are and how you perceive it. You could be a negative type of person.
People can read into it that's fake.
Right. You know? From either way. I mean, from either direction.
So don't pretend you are when you're not. I'd rather you be like more forward and say, hey, I don't know about gaming.
Right. And this is what happened when with her and this that I'm just gonna wrap up. I'm passing my turn. So like a lot of people are trying to, like, for example, her gamer score situation. Right?
It's like yours.
They tried to flex that for or against, right?
That thing is weird, man. That is so weird.
It's all weird. But yeah, Kay. So what you got to say, bro? I know you wanted to for a while.
So this thing's like an onion, man. There's so much nuance and so many layers to this thing that it really boggles my mind. I will say this. I think everybody has shown their ass last week. If you're a racist, you showed you were racist. If you're a misogynist, you showed you were misogynist. If you show, if you're a PlayStation fanboy, you showed you're a PlayStation fanboy. If you're an Xbox fanboy, you showed you're I mean, everybody showed their ass, and there was a lot of overreaction, a lot of stuff, really weird behavior. I mean, even from people like Destin Ligari, weird behavior. You're tracking the woman's gamer score. But I want to go to Sarah first. I want to go through Sarah first. And I want to put, and I'm speaking from a guy who has been in the corporate setting, who has worked with tens, if not hundreds, of executives. From VPs to C-suites. I've worked every level there is. I wasn't one, but I worked with ones who were. Let me start my premise on this. I do not feel sorry for anybody. I do not feel sorry for Phil. And Punty, you're right. He was making a lot of money. That's why he can retire at 58, 59 years old, not 65 or 70. I don't feel sorry for Sarah. Because I'm raised by a single mom who raised my sister that if you're going to play in the big world and with the big boys, you're going to take your lumps like the big boys. I'm not upset if you want to give Sarah Bond criticism. She deserves it. Just my problem is mostly with Satya. And the reason why is because of the culture that has been put in place in Xbox for a long time now that has exposed their underbelly really bad. Starting with Satya, who came out with this statement wishing Phil the best and praising Phil and all that. And one of the biggest stats, one of the quickest stats he posted, do y'all recognize what he said?
What's that?
500 MAUs, 500 million MAUs Xbox has. That was one of his. Right. That's the number that he's been wanting to hit for a long time now. And by the way, I'm going to credit some of the stuff I'm going to say. Heard even like King David said a lot of this, but King David and I are on the same mind here. He got a chance to get his out on YouTube before I would. But there's some things he said I disagree with, but we are aligned on this. Satya came out and he said he was praising Phil for all the stuff that he did, and deservedly so. If this was a perfect world, I would have wished that last week was more spent on the legacy of Phil Spencer and what he has done for gaming than it was the shit show that I was witnessing last week. So, but one of the stats that stuck out, 500 million MAUs for Xbox or Microsoft Gaming, whatever you want to put. He never brought up Sarah's Bond and congratulated her. And what I have a problem with is that she has just as much to do with that 500 MAUs as Phil did. And you didn't give her credit. You didn't say thank you. You didn't do the professional thing. You didn't say anything at all. In fact, nobody said anything at all except for Phil Spencer, which shows the class and the professionalism that he lived up to in his career. like I said, I don't have a problem if you want to critique Sarah Bond. There are things that she did that you disagree with. Cool. I thought, like, for example, this is an Xbox ad that they threw her under the bus. I'm sorry, she was number 2. It was signed off by Phil. And I'm pretty sure Satya saw it too.
That was his direction.
Exactly. And now you're telling me that that campaign sucked because it took away from the console, but you were quick to praise the 500 million MAUs. We know that there isn't 500 million console owners in Xbox. Not even close. There isn't even close to 500 in PlayStation. So 500 million in PlayStation. So I have a big problem.
And Nintendo combined even.
Exactly. I have a big problem with you giving praise to somebody and then you have somebody that throws somebody under the bus. I also have a problem, and this is speaking as a man, speaking as a white man. And yes, sir, are you going to bring race? Are you going to bring gender? Yes, I am. And you want to know why? You want to know why?
Do it.
Because optics matter. Optics do matter. And here you have a black woman who worked her tail end off. You may not have agreed with her. She was an outsider, which, by the way, you're blasting the new girl to come in because she's an outsider, while you're praising the one going out who was an outsider. Makes no sense to me at all. But you want to keep doing that. That's stupid. Not to mention that there's other great executives in gaming history like Peter Moore, who was an outsider. I had people arguing with me that Peter Moore was an outsider. No, he was with Sega before he was with Xbox. What did he do before Sega, Nimrod? He was with Reebok.
He was with Reebok sneakers. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
He's more into sports. He doesn't. You think Peter Moore plays video games? Do you really do? Do you really think he plays video games? He's a sports owner. Do you think Herman Helse spends a lot of time playing video games?
Well, he's trash. Don't use him.
I'm just saying.
Zach Ryan was holding the controller. He couldn't even hold it right.
But you know, but here, my point is this: optics matter. And when I hear that she was difficult to work with, that drove me nuts. Because I'm going to tell you right now.
What are they saying, a mad black woman?
It's not even, but to me, that's not even more race. It is misogynistic. Because I've seen white women get that too. I've worked with a lot of executives, mostly men. They're all difficult to work with. There's very few that you would like. After being with them for a few hours in a meeting, you're like, oh God, let's hope, he's really cool.
Man, they can be just higher ups.
Dude, the executives are a pain in the ass to work for. They are. Man, woman, black, red, white, they're all. So when I see someone does that, but that's not even the biggest problem I have. It's the culture. Xbox has a rotten culture. There are so many leaks from Xbox, and this is before Sarah. This has been ongoing for years. This is one of Phil Spencer's failings, by the way, which deserves to be mentioned.
Facts.
Xbox is one of the worst cultures I have seen in a corporate setting. There are more leaks in that thing than Swiss cheese. I don't see half the leaks from PlayStation, and Lord knows when's the last time I saw a really bad leak in Nintendo, because it rarely happens. I have a couple theories on it. I think, as someone that worked at Amazon and a company that's in the Pacific Northwest, I think there is a kind of a wimpier culture from people in the Northwest. When they don't get their way, they kind of bitch and moan about it a little bit more than people around here in this part of the country. But I'm going to tell you right now, I have fired people. I am not messing around. I have literally fired people when I found out they leaked stuff. And they're like, oh, you can't do it. Yes, I could. And I did. When I found out that there was emails that was outside going into their work emails, and it was brought to me, they were fired. I think if you're dropping stuff like that to people that actually, to Tom Warren, who literally says, here's my Signal chat for any Microsoft people who have tips that's actually linked to his thing. I think you deserve to be fired. And it's not because of loyalty to company. No, I'm not saying that, because I'll be honest with you. As someone who just recently got laid off, loyalty to the company really ain't much loyalty to you either. So I'm not saying that. But there is such thing as a loyalty to your team and loyalty to your organization when you're working on a multi-million-dollar project. And it's very selfish of anybody who keeps leaking this shit out because they got their feelers hurt. One of the critics was, well, Sarah Bond, she created this team atmosphere. If you didn't agree with her or the direction we were going, you were left out. Yes, genius, because guess what? Your job is not to agree 100% of the time. I have never worked in a company where I agreed 100% of the time with the direction or the decision that my boss makes. But it is my job to exercise that decision and make it the best possible situation I can. If you disagree with the decision, you can, if she gives you atmosphere to speak your mind, that's fine. And if you speak your mind and she doesn't agree with it, shut your mouth and get your job done. Otherwise, if you don't like the direction of the company you work for, go somewhere else.
Shut your pie hole.
It is not your job to agree 100%. You think I agree 100% with everything that Amazon done? You got to be kidding me. That's bullshit. It's Bush League. It's selfish. And I'll be honest with you. I would have to think very hard if I got an opportunity to work for Xbox because of that right there. I'm just saying. And for the new leadership, semi-new leadership, because Matt Booty, you are actually part of that culture too. You've been there for a long time. It's your fault too.
People keep wondering, and that's the other thing that's been a part of the conversation, right? No matter if it's plus or minus, right? For or against whatever else, right? The one thing I do see amongst the conversation, right? No matter who from, is why did he get promoted? He keeps getting pushed up. Hang on a second.
I know our buddy Sheik has a theory on that, but I mean, they gotta. I mean, first of all, they have to have somebody that knows the gaming thing with Asha. They have to. So I don't know who else you're going to put that knows Xbox gaming in and out. Matt Booty does. Now, I will be honest with you. I've been very critical of Matt Booty in the past. I don't think he's as good as some people think he is. I think he says things that are stupid at times. There was things that were exposed in ABK on emails if it was me, I would be embarrassed that it came out. It was good for console warring fodder, I'm sure, but professionally, not good. And I hope that Asha and I hope, and we'll get to Asha in a second, but I hope Asha does something with the culture because the culture is rotten.
I agree. And I hope Matt Booty isn't a problem. So I was like interrupted there because I had some outside thing to handle. But I just want to say what I was saying about Matt Booty, right? The perception is no matter what, for or against about everything that's been happening in the past week, is the conjecture that why does he continually get promoted? Right.
The joke is he's got some incriminating photos of Satya. That's the joke.
Right. But it seems like also I've been hearing, and this has been for a while now, like there's been a budding. I don't even know if it's true because it kind of sounds off. Like there's been a butting of heads with this guy. Like he's like there's a team A and team B, and if it was on Team A, he was always on Team B, right? He was more of a Terry Myerson because Terry Myerson was cock blocking that division back when Donnie D was around, right? A lot of people talk shit about Donnie D not understanding the situation he was in, although he made some obvious mistakes of his own that people are legendarily know, right, on camera. And that's what really had gotten him out of it when he made that 360 comment about a system you could use offline, right? That was dumb, right? And I think that was a nail in his coffin. But that's a real gamer, that guy. He collects games, arcades, all of that. People don't know Donnie D. They just know his name all after the fact. His name is dirt in the games industry now, right? But like Matt, right? There's a lot of talk like, what's up with that? And I feel like, is he gonna be a poison pill? And that's if concerning Ashi is not really the closer, because what Seamus Blackley was saying, then he had to renege on all of that. Like, I don't know how you guys feel on that, but Matt Booty, I gotta look at him kind of, with the squinted eyes, like, what's up with you, bro?
I mean, we're about to find out. We're about to find out what kind of leadership they are, because I think because Phil was that overarching presence and a shadow, and that shadow's now removed.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this, and this goes back, just because she's not a gamer doesn't mean shit.
Nope.
And just because you are a gamer, and just because you are a gamer doesn't automatically guarantee success either. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you right now. I used this example on Twitter earlier today. I'll provide a great example that's in the news recently. Michael Jordan.
Yes.
One of the very best basketball players of all time, if not the best. If you don't have him number one in your thing, he's number one with me. But how was he as an owner of the Charlotte franchise?
Heard it was pretty crappy.
Very terrible.
He's not an owner.
Horrible. Not anymore. Not anymore.
Not anymore for that reason, I guess.
He cashed out. He made the money. He cashed out. But look what he's doing now. Now he's winning in NASCAR. His driver just won Daytona.
Yeah.
Driver just won 2 races in a row. That man couldn't even fit in a stock car. Okay? Just because you are in the industry doesn't mean you're guaranteed success. And just because you aren't in the industry doesn't mean you're guaranteed failure.
I think that ties into something I've said often, right? I've asked you this question. You've heard me ask this question. I've asked Kay Asante this. I've asked many people, and I've said on the show many times in many different ways, hoping one day the light bulb would open, and then maybe we'll understand to answer this question a different way, right? Like and it's not just in the gaming industry, but particularly, but not only. Sometimes these folks just seem not to understand the industry they're in. They know nothing about it, and even though they've been there for so long, still don't understand it. They don't understand the user base, the people they sell to. They don't understand the product. They don't understand anything from A to Z, and it shows in their choices. Choices that seem to be pretty obvious to the consumer. Not that the consumer is always right. They're often very wrong, right? But at the same time, I constantly see that, right? Asha, who's new to the situation, right, is coming in, is asking questions. You could tell she's put like the Blades thing. I perceived it as pandering. I'm not gonna lie, right? But also, it could be she's like, yo, what's the top things that Xbox players want that they've been asking for, right? Clearly, the whole thing, as she's explained it, and I believe her on this. That's just my take, right, about her her gamer tag and the achievement points and stuff that she's got, right? Her family, her kids, she spent time. She's a wife and mother. She has a family, right? Just like Phil and Sarah did. And
she have kids? I didn't know she had kids.
Yeah. So they've been
that's right.
She's
She
been
said
doing her
the gamer score, you're right.
She's been doing her research. She knew she was having this position for a while now. She was doing her research, doing her due diligence, right?
And by the way, that also means if you read what Sarah was written, that doesn't mean that Sarah was fired. I've heard that too. And I'm like, if she's fired, then why is she staying on as a consultant? Which, by the way, she didn't pay to do that too. Okay, so was Phil.
Yeah.
All right.
Now, clearly, she feels like she's been pushed aside and she's going to leave, but she's not just out and leaving just one day, because she could have just did that and quit, but she didn't do it like that. Right?
No, she said she spent weeks with Asha, but executives also, when they see that there's a roadblock on the way to move up, then you have to think about what you want to do. Is this a job worth doing? Is Sarah in Asha's plans? Maybe that isn't. I mean, just like I don't have a problem with her being picked, because Satya, as much as I will ridicule Satya and rip him one, I think
a lot of things,
plus there's things with Microsoft that he is not doing well at all either.
AI.
Right. But he has a right to pick whoever he wants underneath him. Yeah. And Asha has the right to pick whoever she wants.
Right.
Doesn't matter what you and I think. Right.
Right. And so my point being is, like, she didn't just quit. Now she's there. Right. And then Asha is doing her due diligence and trying to find out what's, her job, right? She's doing her homework for her new position. She's got,
and it's not going to take it is not going to take Sarah Bond very long to find another executive position. I'll promise you that right now, because you're talking about
it's not going to be in gaming, I don't think.
Well, I mean, she's on the board of Home Depot. She's on multiple boards. A black woman executive that's gone through the Microsoft grinder. She's set.
She's coming out of that more than she ever was before, and she was already a lot.
But to your comment though, Sig, and this is where Xbox has a disadvantage compared to PlayStation. Is you were saying sometimes these people don't know what their consumers want and all that.
Yeah, they really know the industry that they're in, it seems.
Right, they don't know the industry that they're in. But the problem with Xbox is they do have a corporate master, and that does not understand the gaming business, and a lot of their investors don't understand why they have the gaming industry in the first place.
Yep,
including their CFO, who I don't think just reading her comments, I don't think she really cares about the game.
Doesn't care one way or another.
Right. I think Peter Moore had some excellent comments about why Xbox matters to Microsoft. That he he talked about it. It's the way for Microsoft to get into the living room. It's the way for Microsoft to get into the entertainment industry. It's the way for Microsoft. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still doing 8% of the revenue of the company. So there's a value
more
to
than Windows.
Xbox. Right. There's a value to Xbox being in Microsoft. No, they're not going to spin them off. That's stupid.
Right.
In fact, I'm one of the ones that say Sony needs a freaking corporate master of their own, because I don't think they're making enough money to do what they want to do.
Yeah, you see the TCO.
So I understand what you're saying. I think, like I said, that is not an easy position to be an executive for Xbox.
No, for anyone out there, they could pick man or woman. So that's what I'm saying.
Like I said, I don't feel sorry for anybody. I don't feel sorry for anybody either.
That's why it goes back to what I was saying originally, right? None of us knows. It seems some kind of way, and from whatever we know from whoever we're able to get info from, right? Like, we think we know it to be this or that, or could possibly be. But if you're intelligent enough to understand that it could possibly be something else, we do not know, right? In the end, I feel there's just a lot of people out there who just want to act and think like they know everything about everything when they just put on airs, right? And this is why I say about this question I always ask all the time. So Asha doesn't know the gaming industry because that's not her thing, but she has to find out. She has to do her homework, and that's what she was doing. I think the whole thing with the gamer score thing, right, proves that. That's literally what she was doing, right? That's just that's my take on it, right? I could be wrong. Who really knows, right?
But she's also interacting with Twitter, which is the worst effing place.
I would say that's a stupid thing to be doing. Yeah. But anyway,
I'm just waiting for Tim Dog to ask her out on a date. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's already capping heavy for her. It seems like too.
I keep hearing people kind of like
go ahead, Realist.
Kind of like knock her for trying to engage with Twitter.
Yes,
but whether we like it or not, these influencers carry a lot of weight in the gaming community, even though a lot of them aren't really gamers. Look at a dude like Grums. Look at a dude. Look at like these Endymions and these other people have pretty much made gaming about whether it's a white straight male versus anything else, right? These are the people who are pretty much dominating gaming conversations, and so I understand, why Xbox tries to engage with, I guess, social media forums, because they don't have the mind share. The only way I see them being able to get the mind share is just to wipe Sony off the face of the map. I am around so many casual gamers like at my age, everybody's a casual gamer, not a gamer at all for the most part, unless I'm dealing with like my nieces and nephews or my little brother. But like PlayStation is Kleenex.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So
they got the brand.
they need to
Or
try to
Duracell
find
or Gillette.
they need to try to yeah, whatever. Yeah, I get it. So
Every
for me
tablet's
out
an
because
iPad.
I
Yeah.
started thinking about other things that are pretty much taking over something. But so I don't have a problem with her trying to engage, but Microsoft should have known that this was going to happen, right? They should have been they should have seen how Phil was scrutinized, Sarah was scrutinized.
Yes.
Sarah Bond has these stories about how she used to play GoldenEye, her dorm room. Phil Spencer is a longtime gamer who's come up from development, and so you get this person and you know that nobody's gonna like it. She comes from cloud. You know that the gaming community are and the AI that you champion are gonna arm them with the information they need to make a fool of these people in the community.
Mm-hmm.
You have to know these things. So why not have some people go play some games for her? Shoot, I don't know. But her trying to come out here instead of just being genuine, look, I may not be the longtime gamer. Gaming might not have been the thing that I've always done, but I know how to run and operate a business. I know what the Xbox community has been asking for, and it's my aim to try to do my best to bring those things that make the Xbox community happy. And these are the things which she named, right? She named the things that we would want to see. But instead of trying to come out there and act like, oh, we have a family account, and this, no, look, I don't play games. Because some of your favorites were not gamers. I engaged with Twitter today. Told one of these goofy dudes, was Reggie a gamer? Nobody's got anything bad to say about Reggie.
Nope.
Yeah, everybody loves Reggie.
Reggie turned Nintendo of America around.
Yes, he did.
Reggie was around.
Everybody loves Peter Moore.
Yep.
But see, the thing is they came with that console war energy that we were built on. Right, and it worked out for them. But the thing is, console war. See, Microsoft and PlayStation are in the same boat. PlayStation fans just don't want to realize it. Fortnite, 2K, Madden, GTA, that all these ponies are hoping for, is what's killing your platform.
What's up, Sega Man?
Sega Man,
what's up, brother?
What it do, Sega Man? I've been trying to holler at Sega forever, man. He ain't respond to me.
Man, he don't never respond to nobody, man.
I'm talking about Sega Forever. You know, you talk to Sega Forever?
Oh, every day. Every day.
You capping. Cap. so anyway,
I do have a cap. I got a cap on.
I know. But there's a guy that I was talking to. I don't know, man. He sounds like a white boy. You know him, Sick. He's a black dude. And he was the one. I can't remember his name. It's like
Eagles?
I want to say Yobi.
Eagles
I want to say
is like that.
Come on, man, stop it. I want to say Yobi, but I don't think that's his name. It's something like Yobi, but like he came on the show. You know, Sega Forever's in Hawaii, so we were doing shows at like 2 and 3 in the morning, and then this dude jumped in, and I'm defending Xbox and I'm defending Sarah Bond, and this dude was like, no. Whatever that glass ceiling, glass mountain, whatever it is that they determined, he said that she's put there to fail. She's put there.
Or Sarah.
Huh?
Who's put there to fail? Asha or Sarah?
No, Sarah. This is
Sarah,
dude.
okay.
This is when Sarah first got hired.
He's right because there was the narrative that Sarah was there to tear down Xbox. Which, by the way, Asha is getting that same narrative. She's going to sunset it, right?
Yeah.
He's right. He's right.
I was debating this. Done like, nah, man. She's a gamer. The Xbox is turning. He's like, no, watch. And you better come back and tell me I'm right. What you want to bet? I was like, man, whatever you want to bet. I said, this is gonna be years before we figure it out. And he was telling me, he was like, she's gonna be put there. Things are not gonna go the way, and she's gonna be the one to take the blame for everything, right? But this is the thing. We know, and I know us three. I don't know about you, Karen. I'm pretty sure though. We're paying attention to the CMA trial.
Yes.
Satya got up there and said he doesn't like exclusives, and if it was up to him, there would be no exclusives.
Yep.
After the trial, everything turns around. Everything turns around. So if there was everything is an Xbox, because Sarah Bond did put her face on it, she said it all makes sense soon. It all makes sense soon, and you'll understand why everything's an Xbox. But a lot of people said then when Microsoft wanted to get rid of Xbox. Satya told Phil, "Why should we keep it?" That was always a lie, because Satya said that if our biggest competitors are getting into the gaming space, why are we talking about getting out of it?
Yep.
But what he did challenge Phil was to help us make Xbox fit into Windows and what we do as a company. Then Game Pass comes. Then all this multi-plat stuff comes.
And
This is a Satya.
He did the server angle. That's what he did, Phil. I think to answer that was always the narrative that I had in my mind, right? To answer that call to action, basically when he had, to talk to Satya, I think his strategy was to use the server angle, right? Which appeals to him because he was the Azure guy. Satya was the Azure guy.
Angle,
he was the .NET guy when it was .NET. That was the thing he built up, right? And so we see that now. So,
but when it comes to Satya, look, that stuff is great, and this is what I think. I think that the big money people who are really pushing it the way these companies move need to understand what they're investing in. All the way from like CDPR pushing out Cyberpunk too early because investors wanted it out.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get to do that in gaming. You could ruin your whole image.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Xbox putting your games on PlayStation, yes, you're gonna make more money, but what is that gonna do to Xbox?
Do you remember what Satya said was one of the biggest regrets of the company? Was closing down the Windows Phone.
Yeah,
said as one of his biggest regrets.
Dude, come on, bro. He wasn't even around for that.
No, but he said in an interview that was one of the biggest mistakes that the company made was getting rid of that.
No kidding, Kieran. Like so.
Listen
to what I'm saying, bro. The whole reason why I'm like is because Xbox is at the mercy of Apple and Google. Microsoft is at the not Xbox. Microsoft is at the mercy of Apple and Google.
Yeah.
Right? Because they are the duopoly in the space. You had a little foothold. You just didn't, just like Xbox, you didn't go balls to the wall with your product.
Yeah.
Right.
There should have been no way that Apple should have been able to infiltrate, because everybody who used Windows, like myself, went right into, wow, a phone a mini Windows PC in my hand, even called it a pocket PC.
Right.
And they took their foot off the pedal. They didn't make it easy for developers. They still haven't done it in Windows. So of course that's the biggest regret of Microsoft. They tried to buy into Nokia too late. They should have maybe bought a BlackBerry.
But that isn't the reason why I'm bringing it up, though.
Music.
Yeah. But that isn't.
No kidding. That's like, forget him, bro. Because listen, bro. They could put you in there, bro, and you can say put Microsoft Office everywhere. Let's stop fighting with Apple and let's put it over there. Let's put, and for one, you have all these other competitors that are basically emulating what Office does anyway. So they have to start playing ball. But when it comes to gaming, you don't treat they could never have treated gaming the way that they have tried to. They have never went all in on gaming. You put all this money in, and now you still have to restore the belief that people need to have in you for you to make that all worthwhile. Putting your games on other platforms is not going to strengthen your brand. It's going to make you more money. But look at it. They're not selling. They're selling less consoles than they did before. If you believe the $50 million, if you believe the 50 unit number, then they're on pace to sell what Xbox One sold. But the conversation around it, why do you need an Xbox? They're starting to make more and more sense. I can't defend that. Hey, they're putting your games on there. If you don't mind waiting, because this is the same thing. Because this is the same thing that I sell PlayStation guys. I don't mind. Hey, it's gonna come to PC when it comes to PC, and they can tell me the exact same thing, and I got nothing to say. Go ahead, bro. I'm done.
No, I mean, I get what you're saying. My thing is that the reason why I brought it up was because the narrative is that Satya wants to get rid of Xbox, and that's not even close to remotely true. Because Satya does not want to be the guy, because he does bring up Windows Phone. He's brought it multiple times. He doesn't want to be the guy that gets rid of Xbox under. That's not the legacy. He doesn't want that. That's the reason why I brought it up. The other thing is when he said he doesn't believe in exclusives, he could give a rat's ass about exclusives. He just wants to make money. And that's the reason why he signed off on the Cerebon. This is an Xbox thing because it made sense. Now,
it made sense to what their vision at Microsoft is because they're
right.
ubiquitous. But they weren't always that way, and the government had to make them share. They
Right.
understand how exclusivity works. They want that walled garden too.
Yeah.
Or at least the benefits.
But one thing, the reason why I don't. There's multiple reasons why. Like, I understand if they want to make the value of the console better by reversing this is an Xbox campaign, but I'm just going to tell anybody and everybody who wants to hear, and this is for all the Xbox fans out there, you are never going to sell 100 consoles to match PlayStation. It will never, ever, ever happen. You will never be. I mean, this is why the console war is stupid, because it will never be. And by the way, as much as y'all love the 360, I was there. I love the 360 too. It was the first Xbox console I ever had. I didn't even have the OG because I was a PlayStation dude, but I love the 360. It still, while as competitive as it was, it still didn't finish the race in the lead. It didn't. And there's reasons for that.
Though?
You can.
Why
I get it. I get it. But that ship has sailed. It sailed. You'll never, ever, ever.
Then I can say that to the same reason why you brought up Windows Phone. But even I understand why you brought up Windows Phone, right? See, because
same thing with Xbox.
Right, but it's the same with Xbox. It's a regret he has. He knows and understands he made the wrong choice. He doesn't want to make that same choice again with Xbox. Trust me, I get it.
Y'all think is that deep? But Kieran, you say Xbox can't hit 100, right? Now what? No. This is what happened. Huh? This is what happened back in those days, right? When the Xbox took over. Since Microsoft was never fully behind Xbox. See, the Xbox winning that generation was an accident. PlayStation came out trying to sell a console in 2020. A lot of things. In 2006 at 2026 prices, they tried to sell that console.
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft. See, if Microsoft did what PlayStation did, we would have no more Xbox because PlayStation would have figured out a way to wipe them off the face of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But Xbox came out with the Xbox One, still trying to make. See, the specter of Bill Gates still haunts Microsoft.
Yes.
Y'all watch Power On, right? Power On? When
Power On.
The first thing that Bill Gates asked was, "Can it run Windows?"
Yep.
Let's have Windows.
Yep.
Let's have Windows. Yep. And they kept trying to treat Xbox like it was a PC.
Yep.
Yeah. To fight against
this whole
that,
TV thing. Why do you need to be the one to champion TV? Why do you need to be the one to think that you can make the DRM push?
Which by the way, PlayStation did it too. So
listen. They had the good sense. They had the good sense to not be the first ones to talk about
exactly.
it. Why do you make people take a Kinect? Why do you release a console that's less powerful than your competitor while being made by the same company?
And you don't tell your fan base if you don't like it, play the old one. You don't have to buy the new one.
Screw them. Yeah. See, no, the internet is not a deal. Listen, the people crying about the internet, screw them. He was right. You don't want to be on the internet, go play an Xbox 360. But that wouldn't even be. Listen. Hey, let me finish the sentence, please. because I start talking, you just want to jump in. Look, now I lost my train of thought. Okay, listen. The internet is not the problem. The internet was a part of the compounding. Right, it started with the internet and moved to DRM, then on the always connected so they can spy on you. It was like a big, huge compounding. So, like, if it was just the internet, go buy an Xbox 360, and they're not the ones championing DRM, because guess what? EA took a step back. Everybody took a step back because guess what? If Microsoft said it, everybody else was complicit.
Right.
Yep.
Just like everybody's waiting on Rockstar to come out with $100 games.
Everybody know they will.
Everybody wants $100 games. It's just that when Microsoft came out and when everybody came out saying what they need to say, PlayStation says, this is how we share games. EA says, No, you don't. No, EA says no, you don't need any more internet codes on Madden.
Yeah, they betrayed them. But see, that's the thing I want to add though to it. This is what I'm saying, right? And it was key that I said at the point where you're saying, but this is still a good point to say it now too, right? The internet does matter in this way. People like to act like the internet is not. I get that. I get the lie. I understand it for real. I'm not just saying it as a throwaway statement. However, right? They let the internet dictate everything. All the talking heads on the internet in terms of the press, the gamers, right? All the gamers were telling other gamers who don't follow, right? That would come to us. We're all, I'm sure, in our microcosms are the ones that people come to and ask, what should they do, right? And last generation, the answer was simple. The PS4 over the Xbox One, at very least, because it was $100 less. And then it was more powerful. And then you take all the lies that were said online, right? And most people aren't honest like us. We're just repeating those lies. So that shit did matter because that's where they got it from. And then the NeoGAF, where all those lies really started from. All the ponyism started on Neo. Trust me, I know. When NeoGAF was gaming age forms before the turn of the century, that shit does fucking matter. That's where all this shit came from in the first place. But it's also what you're saying, though, Realist, right? Because Microsoft gave them all those shots to shoot at them by making a bunch of fucked up mistakes at the worst possible moment to make all that shit fit and seem like it was really true. Damn. It was a combination. It was a combination. To act like the internet wasn't a factor is false, but everything else you said is so true. So true. All those were self-inflicted wounds. That's why I said what I said about Donnie before. But that was a stupid move. And even look what happened with Major Nelson and what was his name? Angry Joe.
Angry Joe. That was a bad
Angry
interview.
Joe. And then when they switched to DRM, Angry Joe was already back home. And I still have that image.
They threw Major Nelson under the bus on that one.
Just blinking on screen like he didn't even have to say anything. Everybody knew what Angry Joe was talking about. He played the clip with him and Major Nelson in his video, right, on the subject. And he just brings the camera back to himself, and he's just blinking at the camera without looking at his face. You instantly know what he means.
Yep. I would love to hear Major Nelson talk about that because I think he was hung out to dry.
And all this generation is making up for last generation, right? From the moment Phil took over, he had to fight all of that shit, and even now we're still suffering from it. It used to be, I remember, just before this generation started, a year before this generation started, it was there would be a lie every week from the PlayStation community, right? Saying about Xbox, right? Something came out in the press or whatever, and it took by the end of the week to dead that shit, right? With facts and everything, right? Because it was always based on lies, right? It would happen week to week. Then it started happening at a point where it was daily. But then the shoe was on the other foot. Then it started happening to PlayStation. They started having a lot of fuck ups here and there all over the place. And then they started adding.
I think they were having screw ups in the PS4. The reason why it wasn't exposed as much is because the competition was so bad that they didn't even do. I've said this before.
That's what I'm saying.
Sean Layden is overrated. Sean Layden is overrated. And the reason why, and by the way, every time he does an interview, he's always wearing that same Spider-Man thing. It's like, dude, you have another shirt that you wear or something?
He's still talking?
Dude, he's always on a podcast or something every week.
Something still.
Right. He's wearing the same thing. I'm like, God, man, you don't have another shirt?
Microsoft, Mike Ybarra.
I go change my shirt.
Yeah, it's the same thing. But I've said this before. The man didn't realize live service was coming. And all the signs were around him, because I'll tell you right now, Phil Spencer did when he was getting the teeth kicked in. He did.
What man?
That's the server angle he said to Satya.
You said the man didn't realize
live service was coming. He didn't realize live service was coming in.
Tell me who he is.
What do you mean who he is? I said Sean Layden.
You said Sean Layden. Okay. That's what I was asking. That's the first question I asked you. I said, you said the man. I said, who's the man?
Oh, sorry. Sean Layden is overrated. Look, it's easy to win a game when your competition just cuts their legs out from underneath them, and you look so much better than you actually are. Okay, so I mean, while I'm not saying that the PS4 generation wasn't successful for PlayStation, sure it was. But he limited the PlayStation to a single player experience. when he should have been developing live service 10 years ago.
But that's not their strong suit, though.
It did,
Well,
but
they should have learned it
not
to
their
be.
strong suit now, and now they're trying to do it now.
10 years ago when it wasn't, they should have been working on that.
Now they have to, and that's my point, realist. They have to now because of the position they were on let them put them in.
I'm not disagreeing. What I'm saying is, okay, this is what last generation when everybody was saying Xbox needs bangers and this and that. I was like, dude, y'all don't have multiplayer games.
Yeah,
they don't.
Y'all games are done in a week. Y'all games are done. It didn't matter for their sales, but it mattered for Sony. Right. And these people still don't people still don't understand. Sony is looking at the big game, the full picture, and it's that their games last for a weekend.
Yeah.
That most gamers are there.
From the new rumors coming out today, I think they dropped the ball on that too. So we'll see.
Most gamers are on PlayStation to play third-party games.
Yes.
Most players are on Xbox to play third-party games. The only difference is Microsoft's bought one of those big games. Two of those big games.
Two, yeah.
Right? So what they were doing was fine. They were never Game Heroes always like to talk about Warhawk, Mag, all these games, right? But what happened? As soon as they got Call of Duty, they said we don't have to do this anymore.
Yep. There's a narrow side.
People keep talking about Japan studios being closed.
Yep.
But as soon as they were able to get Square Enix to do exclusivity, we don't need them anymore.
Yep.
That's the problem, right? Because that's the problem, because it's the over-reliance. No, it's because of the over-reliance on others, though.
Gee whiz, buddy. He cut me out to say the same crap I'm saying. Look, yes, that is the problem. So, when y'all say that, I think you said that he didn't see it coming. You did say Phil Spencer did see it coming.
Yeah.
But what did the community do to Phil when he said games as a service? They clipped it. They made fun of it.
Him.
No, they did. They made fun of him.
I agree.
For it.
I agree.
We don't want games as a service, but you say, and then when EA says that people aren't playing single player games, and then Bethesda says we are, Bethesda, your big hitters are always going to sell. But guess what? You turn Fallout into a broken mess that got fixed. You had ESO. You tried to do Redfall. So you were on board with it, but you were just doing this marketing thing on social media. But people are not playing these single player games to the effect that they need them to. There's only so many Baldur's Gates out there.
Yep.
There's only so many Elden Rings out there.
Yeah.
And that's why I said I don't really like the way gaming is going, because gaming is going to be for my kids wholly in a minute. Go ahead, man.
Right.
I don't like the business of gaming anymore.
Well,
I'm talking about the industry and what the taste. We are no longer.
Well, I mean, the kids' taste. I mean, you and I go off. I mean, well, maybe not you. I know Sick and I have gone off on Roblox. I don't like Roblox.
Oh no, dude, it's me too.
I can't stand it. Yeah, I can't stand Roblox. My kid's like, you want to play Roblox? I don't want to play that trash game. I don't want to play that trash game. Go find like an older game or something. I'll play with you.
Here's the thing, though. I just want to add from what you were trying to say before, because you were kind of say it, and it's an undercurrent, but it needs to be said. It's obvious, but it needs to be said clearly, right? When Sony's talent wasn't live, what do you call those? Live what?
Still isn't. Still isn't.
No. What's the word though?
Live service,
right? But they had 10 years to make it, and they didn't. And now those chickens are coming home to roost.
But if we're being honest,
don't interrupt. This is why I didn't finish this other stuff before. This is why you didn't get to. These other problems are now coming home to roost too, and all the other factors. It was just live service was just one factor.
Live service.
Everything is fucking them over now, right? But everybody's still pretending and acting like they're still good, like they're gonna win. Like this next system is coming out cheap, like they're getting out of PC games, right? They're gonna stop
stupid decision.
PC games because Christopher Drink said so, and now what's his name is backing them up. That still doesn't mean shit. Sony is dying for money, and they don't have Bravia TVs to back up PlayStation when they fuck up anymore.
Nope. No, but here's what I would say about not having the people 10 years ago for live service. Live service was brand new. Who was? There wasn't many people that knew live service other than maybe the people from MMOs.
Right, but Xbox at least went online, and
PlayStation was online, Overwatch was like we use No, I know that, but we use Overwatch. An example was Overwatch a really good success? No, because they had to go to Overwatch 2.
Lol.
Like
Well,
these
and even
guys,
that almost
these
fucked
guys
it up.
didn't know what to do from the. So if you're starting the race with everybody else is starting, nobody was good at it 10, 12,
But this
12
is
years
what I'm
ago.
saying. None of these
Right.
motherfuckers really understand what they're in. Because if you see this is a thing and it's doing somewhat, right? You have to have the foresight of vision to realize, hey, we have to make something new,
Yep.
right? A new lane, and we need to dominate that lane. So when the lane we're on, like the well dries up with that, we're on this new lane now, still making this money.
You got a well
right?
lane?
That's always what it is. That's always what the mindset is supposed to be. And live service could have been that new lane for them, but they didn't do it when they
And
should
now
have.
you closed. And now you
And
closed
now
the
they have to
reputable.
waste a lot of money
Now
to
you
do
put
all
a-
this other
now you
shit to
put a
try.
toll lane.
And now you closed a reputable studio because
man,
you
toll
didn't
lane.
know what you were doing because you didn't have the foresight from the beginning. And that's
Right.
that's you know
It's just
You
sad.
don't know the industry you're in.
It's
And
just
it really
Nope.
is sad. It really, really is sad.
because you were trying to make a single player studio, which you have plenty of, to make a live service game. It doesn't make any lick of sense.
It's just
Yeah.
sad.
Oh, it is sad, and that's the reason why. Like I told Sick I fell off the wagon because I've been arguing with these idiots all weekend and this week,
Yeah, I
and
don't
I
know
need
why
to
you
get.
bothered.
I've been
bro.
too
I
sick
don't
to
know.
pay
I
attention.
fell
The
off the
irony
wagon,
that it
man.
was you did that.
I know. Because I'm
When you were
even
just saying
arguing.
the time before, I'm leaving. I'm not really even fucking
I
with you.
know. You know what?
I'm twisting the lights because you need to hear it said at
I
you.
know.
Like you're
Yeah,
the
I
one who was
do.
telling me, and then
I
that's when I said,
know.
you know what?
I
As soon
know.
as that news dropped, I said, you know what? Let's go play some. You asked me to let's go play some Helldivers because I said, you know what? I'm sticking to playing these games, and you were like, you want to play some Helldivers? I said, fuck yeah, let's go.
Play some
Yep.
Helldivers.
Yep.
And that's what I did.
See, you should have threw me to Life Raft when you saw me arguing with these Nimrods.
Sweet
So
I
you
liberty.
can
tried to
return the
tell
favor.
you. I literally told you.
How about a cup
Listen,
of
man. I'm
liberty?
Mr. Literal, and sometimes you guys are like, I'm saying obvious shit that doesn't need to be said. You guys don't realize y'all understand it because you understand it like me, but the audience.
No, I fell off the wagon. I admit it. I fell off the wagon hard, even on the news today.
You hear what I just said too? This is especially at you too.
Oh, there's a rumors going around that they're not doing PC ports.
Oh,
so what I was saying
PlayStation's not. Yeah.
Hang on a second. Okay, realist.
Like, what did you just say, Kira?
There's Jason Schreier.
Somebody does. Okay, come on.
Jason Schreier's coming out.
Oh,
he says it's not speculation. He's come first. I didn't read Dring part. I only saw Schreier, but that's fine. I believe you. Yeah, that they have evidence, or they're saying it's not.
That PlayStation is moving away from
their PlayStation is moving away from PC ports for single player games. They're not going to do it anymore. And I'm like, oh well, that's a shame because I've been buying a couple of your games. I'm not going to spend $700 to $1,000 to play one or two exclusives of a year. Y'all's output isn't that good for me to drop that much money.
Right.
And of course, I got the Sony fanboys just nail me like, well, fine then, we don't need your money. First of all, you're not getting my money. You're not getting my money. Well, and then I made a comment. I'm like, well, I guess that rumor of that PC handheld is probably not happening because if you're not going to do PC ports, what's the point of building a PC handheld? And they're arguing with me. Why would you say? You just said stuff. Just say. I said, no, dude. Why would you build a handheld? Why would you build a handheld that's only going to play your games? You already got that. It's called the Portal. So why would you spend? Well, you think they're going to build it with an OS that's not Windows or Linux? And I'm like, what OS are they going to? They're going to use their own. Well, that's dumb.
They don't have one. That's why they use FreeBSDs, 2 consoles in a row.
Right. Like and Linux. I'm like, and what? You think that's going to sell?
But you don't know that.
It's funny.
That you're going to get a handheld that only plays your exclusives.
But the thing is now, see, these same idiots used to run their mouths during the PS4 era, right? And can just say blanket lies and people believe them. And with
I don't believe it to be true either, Sig. I'm just saying, I don't believe it to be true either.
Right. I know you know that. This is what I was saying before when I was trying to tell to realists. Like, bro, sometimes you hear me say shit that's obvious, right? It's obvious to you. It's obvious to me. It's obvious to Kieran. It's obvious to Tech. But I'm not saying for my sake or your sakes. I'm saying for the audience.
Yeah.
Right? Because the audience doesn't know. We talk a lot of inside baseball as if everybody knows. And oftentimes this is why we're talking over each other. We know it already. But it is what it is. Like people don't really understand how these things factor in. and it's major.
I mean, but last week it was the Xbox guys because they're like, "Oh, Xbox is going to full exclusive because she says return to Xbox." No, they're not.
Yep. No, they're not.
They're getting rid of Game Pass. No, they're not.
No, they're not.
You know, I mean, dude, they're building an OS to match with Windows for freaking. You think? See, that's the thing. Like people, I've had people ask me, they're like, well, "So what changes do you think is going to happen?" I'm like, "Not much." I said, "What I do think is what I do think they're going to do." What I do think they're going to do is I think they are going to spend a little bit more time on some smaller things that Xbox gamers loved about the console. In fact, I hope they do certain things like redo the achievement system and all that stuff. The small things that you used to love about the 360 that you don't see anymore. I do think they're going to start focusing on little tidbits on that. I think there's an argument to be made while they have the quantity of games that are coming out. I do think there's an argument to be made that they can still up the quality of the games that they have out. And that is something that if they can get the quality of those games even better, then that will help them in the long run. But they're not getting rid of multiplayer because when I hear exclusive, see, even the word exclusive doesn't mean what it is. Exclusive means Xbox only.
Yeah.
That's what it traditionally means. That's what it's always that's all what it should mean. But if it's Xbox and PC, that's not exclusive. That's multiplat.
Yeah. What were you saying? Get rid of multiplayer? You talking about the paywall?
No, multiplat. No, I don't think Xbox would be great if they did that. I don't think they will. But
great if they did what? The paywall for internet?
Paywall for multiplayer. Yeah. I don't think they do it.
And only charge for Game Pass?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That would be awesome.
I mean, at worst, maybe they stop doing games for PlayStation. But even then, if you look at the success of like a Forza that's sold on PlayStation, really, do you want to do that? I mean, again, what is it that you're trying to do? And that's something that Asha's got to figure it out. You know,
Karen, we talked about this, I think, on this show. If not this show, then another show I was on.
Yeah.
The games that blow up everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
State of Decay blew up on every platform it was released. Forza blew up on every platform it was released. The Little People blew up on every platform. Grounded 1 and 2 blew up on every platform it was released.
Mm-hmm.
Hi-Fi Rush was a dud everywhere it was released. Great game for those who like rhythm-based games, but it was a dud everywhere it dropped.
Yep.
So it's not. The secret is that you gotta have your best games be exclusive, and not treat it like, just wait a little bit. Because
what's exclusive for Xbox? Let me ask you a question. What's exclusive for Xbox? A console only or console and PC?
Listen, let me keep going. Because the thing is, because and I won't forget. Because the thing is when ever since Tomb Raider, it's always been, but when is it coming to PlayStation?
Oh God, I remember
when it's exclusive for Xbox, it's like, is it ever gonna come? Should I go buy a PlayStation? They can't even talk about Xbox, and we know that the games are coming to Xbox.
Who started that though?
PlayStation, Nintendo, if you really want to be, but I understand.
No. I mean the narrative. I mean that was not the Xbox. That wasn't the Xbox side. That was a PlayStation side. It was basically the PlayStation side, right?
The problem that I have is that people don't have the expectation. They have the expectation that it's coming to PlayStation. That's the thing. And when you pop up on a show with Indiana Jones as the cap coming to PlayStation to cap the show off, that is a problem.
Yep.
Yes.
And that's something that they need to rectify.
Right. But what I'm saying is, before any of that was a thing, right? Before Microsoft put anything anywhere, not even on PC back then yet, right? When stuff was actually exclusive from Microsoft, right? Even then, the other side was always asking. They willed it into existence. They said it so fucking much. When I spoke earlier about the beginning of the Xbox One generation, all the self-inflicted wounds, but also how the internet did what they did, right? The ponies did what they did, could lie bald-faced easily to everyone, and it just was accepted as it was the truth, but we knew it was all false, right? And as Xbox fans getting our legs kicked in, right? All day. beating on your legs like it's
I can see them moving away from
brother,
PlayStation.
RIP to his brother. Right? That's what happened, right? So it was the same thing then. So if you say to them, they literally willed it to be true. So now, fast forward to a realist example with Indiana Jones, and even before they said Cognito and what's his name with the missing teeth? What's his face? Addict, right? Was already talking this shit.
I almost said
and it turned out to be right. I wasn't saying it to be insulting to Addict. I just couldn't remember his name.
Nah, I just never
tell me after the show, realist. I find it funny. So
because working in construction, I used to work around a bunch of them boys on that high speed chicken feed, and their teeth look just like that.
But I'm just saying, yeah, he does.
And then his name is Addict.
Right. And then his name is Addict. It's not a good look. That's what I'm saying. But listen, he was already talking that shit. Like when, just the 4 games, blah, blah, blah. That was the one thing. Like that had energy long before Microsoft was making any of those moves to even bring any of those games to PC. And PC to me made sense. That Microsoft, they own Windows, the desktop platform that 90+% of the market, right? On this past month, right, when all these dudes you see on everywhere online lately, it's been Microsoft, anything Windows, right? You see in the comment section, they're switching to Linux and all this other shit, right? Particularly in gaming, but not only, right? But then the Steam numbers came out at the beginning of the month, and Linux percentage went fucking down, not up, down. But with all the shit you see on the internet, you would think it's going up even by 0.5% or 0.1%. No, it went fucking down. Damn. So no, right? But there you go. So then you get to a point where what Realist is saying about Indiana Jones, it's self-fulfilling, and they made it that way. And it's just like every way that Microsoft would try, and oftentimes they fucked up and it was self-inflicted. I understand that. But even when it wasn't, they would still just they would stab them and twist the knife and then break it off and then run away laughing. And the knife is poisoned.
But here's the issue, though. Here's the issue moving forward for Asha, okay? Let me ask you a question, Sik.
Mm-hmm.
Who was the one that wanted to put the games on PlayStation? Was it Phil or was it Satya?
It seems like it was Satya, but Phil wasn't.
If the rumors are that they wanted higher margins, then it would be Satya, right?
Satya, but Phil was definitely of the mindset to not really be against it.
No, I don't, because he doesn't believe in exclusives either. He wants the games be in everybody's hands as much as possible. Which, by the way, most developers feel that way. Developers don't like exclusives either.
But it would have never been him to do it by himself, though.
It was Sarah and Satya. I agree, Google.
It was Sarah and Satya the most.
Right.
Phil was amenable because he felt that way, but he knew but he was the only one of the 3 who's a gamer who knew not to do it, right? But when the word came down, he did it, right? And he did it, and he got Sarah to execute, right? And Sarah not being the gamer, that's why I always see her in those interviews right before the one she did with Good Morning America, right, with Becky Worley and all of them, right? I remember an interview she had before then where she was like talking to people, and she would finish their sentences. When she would ask a question about, what platform you're playing games on, right? Oh, mobile. Oh, you play on a console? And she would interrupt their answer and say, oh, you playing on a console? Like they were the weirdos for saying they play on a console, right? Like she pushed that hard. That was one of the things I didn't like what she was doing, right? Because that was her job to do it, and she's rabid about what she does, right?
Right, which is it wasn't why I was not happy with her getting scapegoated, because she's doing what she was told to do.
Exactly.
So let me ask you guys this then, okay? No. You're in Asha's head, right?
Am I?
Now I guess we're all in agreement that you would take no more Xbox games going to PlayStation, correct?
At the very least, extremely timed.
Yeah. Extremely timed.
Okay, that makes sense.
5 years.
So where I think Xbox needs to do a better job, especially on their hardware, because I don't think their hardware is changing. It's too late for that. I still don't think it's coming out next year. They may make an announcement. I don't think it's coming out next year.
2030.
No, they'll announce it next year, maybe late next year.
No, I think they're going to announce it this year now. I think
really?
she's because she's even said we're going to make a hardware announcement soon. I think because
accelerate it this year. Then
I think they're going to make the announcement this year. I don't see it coming out in 2027.
to stack your money then if you really want one day one.
Nice round number.
I would be shocked. You got to show me if it's next year, because with the RAM Oculus, I can't see it happening. But whatever. I think they need to do a better job of blending the console to PC and explain that.
Yeah.
I think the hybrid is coming. They're not shying away from PC. They don't need to, by the way. Gogo is right. It's still the biggest. PC is still the biggest platform there is by a country mile. By a country mile.
That's how they got the 500 MAUs. It's mostly PC folks.
So my thing is that you're going to have to lay in the message that the next console is console-like, but it's PC. It's a hybrid. That you will get all the things that you want. And this is where I think AI will do wonders if they sell it right and they explain it right. Not AI slopping games, but AI where it can detect where you're playing what game you're playing at, on what device you're playing it, and settings and all that. That I think that is going to be, I think could be done really well.
You'd like to be inverted. Let's set up your inversion.
Right.
But that was already a thing they had, where it's supposed to be in your profile since the 360, right? Like certain things were already in your profile. It knows, to make your inverted default because you're an inverted guy, right?
Right. But because it's a hybrid, then you should have more settings on your games than you would for a console, than you would a traditional console, right? So you would have AI. If AI could detect what are the type of things that you like your settings normally, and it automatically pops it into the settings on any game that you play on the console, that would be cool.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying, Sick? Like
I
that
follow.
is the type of stuff that if you bring to the hybrid console experience, that's cool. That's AI that I think works really well. So I don't have to. So you're saying you're saying that I don't need to mess with my settings. It'll automatically do the settings the way I like them. Cool.
Just like the cloud saves and everything else.
Exactly.
Just like the cloud saves and everything else. It's the same idea. It's the same motif.
Yeah. Exactly. That is where, if Asha is really good in AI, like people think she is, or what her record says, that is something that she could bring to the table to help bridge that. Help bridge those experiences with the optimization and all that with the hardware. Add in some of the little quirks and stuff. You know what? I wouldn't totally rule out blades. Maybe they do something that's a modern type of blades. Who knows? I don't know if it's feasible or not, but maybe something they can look at. I know this. I would love to, one thing that as an achievement hunter that I wish they would bring back, make completions great again, because on the 360, if you get a completion, there's a completion that tells you how many completions you have, when you can click into it on the UI and it goes into all your games you completed and tells you,
PlayStation even has the platinum concept, right? You've platinum the game, that means you've done it all.
They haven't had that since then. Xbox One hasn't had the completion count.
Yep.
Xbox Series X doesn't have the completion count. Bring back some of that stuff that makes sense. That's cool. That's the little things I think go a long way.
My request or idea is, like, I'm seeing the game bar, right? Especially now that you've seen the Xbox full screen experience. It's really, the Xbox full screen experience is really just that, is not the Xbox app that's running on it, right? It's just that Windows without the desktop and the task switcher, right? And the only real thing equivalent you have is the game bar, right? That's like what it would have been when you hit the Xbox button on your Xbox and the thing slides in since the 360 era, and you got, your music player and the game that's playing, your chat, all of that, right? And the game bar does functionally the same thing now, right? What I really want to see is, because I see this on Steam Deck all the time. No, not even that, although that's like just another app. That's just another app. But it is about media, right? Because I see Decky Loader, if you know about the Steam Deck. No, stop, man. But kind of what you're saying, but you're just fucking up my flow here. Listen to what I'm saying without an interruption. Like, when I look at the Steam Deck and Decky Loader, right? Motherfucker. Like Decky Loader, right? It's this little plugins that they have now, right? So now they just came out with a new one, Spotify, where you're playing your own music, right? And you just hit the you hit the button so the like the menu from the right side pops in, right? And then all your plugins, whatever, are just there. So or they just came out one for Spotify, right? Now they have Spotify already in the game bar, but we need one for Discord, right? Just like on Xbox, you can join Discords in Xbox, right? For voice chat with other people, right? We did that with Beast of Truth. I was on PC. The both of you were on Xbox. You and Kieran and Beast were on Xbox, but we all spoke on Discord, right? There needs to be a little Discord remote control, whatever, in the game bar, right? They can have those for all the music apps, right? They have them for Spotify, have it for YouTube Music, Apple Music, all of them, right?
You know what I liked from the Xbox One at the very beginning was that snap bar on the right.
The snap bar thing, bring that back, right? You can leverage all of that. You can leverage all of that with the horsepower available, right? On these machines, even the handheld PCs are doing it, and we know the Series X, the CPU is fast enough for shit like that already now, right? Where we do that, you do what it was just like with the 360. You had the Xbox button, you hit that, and the menu came sliding out on top of your game. Your game is still running in the background, and you could invite people to your game. And eventually, they added party chat, and it's all happening. Even when you exited a game or you're launching another game, you're still in your party chat. It doesn't even skip a beat on the party chat. Right?
And Gogo makes another point. I didn't mean to cut you off. Finish what you have, because there's
but I'm just saying, like, all that integration and smoothness needs to be there. That's just the ease of use that eventually you forget until it's not available in there, right? But then you use that as a jumping off point to do more, and then all the stuff you're saying, right? Where it's the best platform to play. You don't want it for anything else. Just like the Steam heads, right? Don't want to buy their games on no other platform but Steam. Make Xbox so awesome to use and to play on that you don't want it anywhere else. That's the first place you want to play it on. Once you do that, it's a wrap for everything else.
And then one thing we haven't said yet, and I actually think that it's going to end up being one of Sarah Bond's biggest legacy in the market. They're not getting rid of Play Anywhere. I'm telling you that right now.
Thank God for that.
They're not going to, because people don't understand. Play Anywhere isn't just pro consumer; it's pro developer.
Yeah.
If you remember, about a year and a half, 2 years ago, because of the number of complaints that developers were talking about the Series S and all that stuff, and a while back, it may have been 2 years ago.
Napster.
There was reports that they were saying that Xbox was reaching out to all the developers to talk to them and figure out what is it they're, what are they were filling out surveys and shit like that, right?
Yeah, what they wanted.
Play Anywhere was what came from that.
Yes.
And the reason why I'm telling people don't understand that, because they're like, well, Play Anywhere, they just lose money because you don't have to buy. No, fool. Play Anywhere helps the developers because they don't have to do a console version and a PC version, or in this case, a Series X version, a Series S version. They don't have to do that. It's all one version, and it plays on your hybrid, and it plays on a PC, and it plays on a handheld. It's pro developer and pro consumer. They will not get rid of that.
Nope. It's less work for them.
Less work for them, and a happy developer. And a happy developer brings more games to your platform.
Yeah.
Yep.
But see, that's Microsoft doing something for gaming, and whether it works or not, or people start to say that they love it, that's going to determine how much love they get for doing it. Because I can't remember who made Final Fantasy 16, but he was saying, he wished that there was only one platform.
Yes.
You don't want to do more work. These developers don't want to do more work either.
Nope. So it costs more money.
So if Microsoft can come up
kind of lazy
with a quote unquote console, right? Because see, honestly, I've been saying for years the PC is too fragmented. You got too many configurations. You got too much going on. You got people who have 20-year-old PCs that they won't let go of. If you look at some of the games, the minimum spec is for like 900 series and 400 series cards. So like they're still developing. Well, yours is fine. You just don't
get
fine
now. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like, because like people are just now starting to say that the 1080 can't hold up. You know what I mean? But it's NVIDIA's job to keep coming up with something new to sell. So if Xbox can come up with a PC spec that developers can target, you look at like some of these games have Steam Deck settings, it does wonders for our Microsoft PCs, handheld PCs, because
Even
they're stronger
Xbox
than the
does that
Steam
now.
Deck. Well, Xbox has been trying to do it, and that was one of the initial promises, that they would have the same kind of curated thing like Steam has. But
they do have that little
I was
handheld thing now, the little handheld icon that for
Mhm.
the same reason that Steam did when it's Steam verified, not just if the
Right.
game runs, about the text size being right and shit like that.
Whether it's
Which you guys
it says
are
optimized, handheld
optimized, right? That's what
optimized.
they
Like,
mean, and that's what they mean by that. And that's what they
no, that's
mean
what
by
it
that,
says.
right?
So
That's what it
Yeah,
says.
that's what
it
it
says
says, and
optimized.
that's what it means. But also, that's what it means,
It
right?
means
Like
optimized.
the text. No, it's about like the text sizing and
That
shit
means
like
it's
that.
playable.
For guys like you. No, it means that you old blind bastards can see it without readers. That's what it
Hey.
means.
It's optimized. Optimized.
For your eyes.
Eyes.
Optimized.
So,
That's what I mean. But anyway, yes.
And so when it comes to PlayStation, they're gonna do what Microsoft does.
Yeah.
The way that, but they are gonna have to figure out how their storefront can compete. Because if most of these little kids, because I'm telling you, consoles are not the status symbols that they were when we were kids.
Not anymore.
Like these kids want PCs.
Tablet.
You know
Right?
what I
And
would
if
do
and
if
if
I
and
was
if and if an
PlayStation?
Xbox can get through to these people and they know that it is a PC, then that could help.
Yep.
Right? And I see PlayStation following just like Xbox does with every move. They're gonna follow right along with it. PlayStation needs to position their storefront because they need to be on PC day one. As much as play. Look, because this is what you asked me about, and then I shut up, Kieran, because you asked me about it. And I said I won't forget, and I did. Now I remember.
I was about to ask you about that.
God, dog it! Now I forgot again, man.
Motherfucker, you just remembered.
God. Optimized.
Well, because
I will tell you this.
It's not about optimization though.
It's optimized.
If I'm PlayStation, the only way it would make sense not to do your own PC port on Steam anymore is if you're opening up your PC launcher, which they should have had already, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they should have.
They need to have their own
Nobody wants
PC
another
launcher.
launcher.
And by the way, as a guy, because my stance is this: if back in the days when consoles were $300 to $500, okay, maybe I buy multiple hardware. Now you're asking $700 to $1,000 to $1,500. For one to two exclusives a year. So a generation's what, 6 to 8 years. You're talking about 8 to 16 games, and I'm not going to guarantee. It's not guaranteed I'm going to like all of them either. So I'm going to drop $700 to $1,000 for a handful of games.
You're gonna like them.
But if I'm a PC guy and I got my Rogue, and if you don't want to give that 30% to Steam, cool. Open up your PC launcher and I'll buy it directly from you, and you get 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's a no-brainer.
That's what it was about. Should they get rid of a PlayStation, right? And I said at the very least they should do extreme time exclusivity. PlayStation owners should not go through their ownership understanding that eventually they're going to get all the games. Because right now we're talking that talk, and we're like, PlayStation's eventually going to have to put games on Xbox too, right? But they're expecting to get Xbox games. So Xbox does not need PlayStation to be successful, right?
No.
Having PC is more than enough. They don't sell games in Epic, but they have games in Steam in their own storefront, which is pretty trash, that nobody's really using outside of Game Pass. But they don't need PlayStation. And a part of me at first was like, hey, they need to put games on PlayStation because of regulatory stuff. But man, they're getting their butts kicked. Right? So at some point they got to start doing something to make their offering more competitive, and putting their games on other platforms isn't making their platform look more competitive. So this is what they can do.
Money.
If they move to more of a PC, and they say, hey, if PlayStation makes more of a PC open platform, we have no problems putting the games over there. And then they get to play where Xbox really wants. And I think that's where PlayStation is really kind of hesitant about being gung-ho about PC. Because Jim Ryan says something in every move that's made. I keep watching it. I don't know if y'all remember that email he sent to one of the former Sony guys. And he was like, yeah, protect our baby, right? And then he said, I've spoken to Phil and I've spoken to Bobby, and this isn't an exclusivity play at all. Y'all remember that email?
Yep, I remember that.
And he was like, he said, this is not an exclusivity play at all. They're thinking much bigger, and they have the money to throw around.
Yep.
I got to save somewhere in my phone. to who he sent. I think his name was Chris or something like that. And he's like, but we're cooking up some things too. We got Bungie, and we're gonna be just fine.
Ooh.
And we'll have Call of Duty on our platform for years to come.
Banging my head on the wall.
Yeah. Why?
He said we got Bungie.
That was
Marathon. But that's what he said. But that's what he said. I know. So every move that gets made, I'm looking at, I'm analyzing from what did Jim see that nobody else is seeing. Because Jim has been afraid this is Jim talking. This isn't like an open forum. These were just like Booty said, spin them out of business. These were emails that they extracted somehow. So what is it that Xbox is doing that's much bigger than anybody else is considering? And so when I think big. I'm thinking much bigger. Mobile, they can pretty much do what they want to do. So now they're fighting to have their own storefront. They've already, because just the other day I bought a book on Audible and it redirected me. I got a message that said this app handles its own purchases and you'll deal directly with them for refunds. Agree? So that means that Google is starting to make moves as to how they allow people to transact on their device, and we know that Apple has. So if Microsoft gets it to where it's an open platform, because you remember Strauss Zelnick said everything's about to be moving to a more open platform versus this closed off consoles. Not saying the consoles are obsolete. Y'all remember what he was saying that? Do y'all remember that?
Yes,
remember, right?
yeah, realist. And the reason I think you're correct is because I remember, and it's funny how this is how I thought of it, right? And so when I mentioned this, please don't think I'm just making it tell you. I'm gonna give it right back to you. When a month later, when Jim Ryan came back to sign some paperwork or whatever it is, and he looked all disheveled, people were like, oh, he was in a bender, he got fired, whatever, coke, drugs, liquor, whatever the fuck, he looked like shit. No, I think he was still worried about whatever the fuck it was. I always thought something was up too. It wasn't just, oh, they got rid of him and other shit, and now they're making moves differently. And no, there was more to. There was something else that I couldn't put my. I still can't, but I felt like
how long was the Call of Duty? How long was the Call of Duty deal they made? 10 years.
Yeah, everybody got 10-year deals.
Okay, we're in year what?
I'm on a
3
podcast.
or 4 now. We're in year 3 or 4 now.
No, bro, we're like year 6 or 8, bro.
When
was this deal?
Since ABK?
When was this deal closed? When was the deal closed? 22?
Like 2-3 years ago.
2-3 years ago.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it hasn't been
6 or 8.
Years.
I wish.
No, it's not 6 or 8. Because we're gonna have to look at when it started. But yeah, everybody got 10-year deals, and Nintendo still hasn't gotten a title yet.
Nope.
Yeah.
And you're almost halfway done.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do in 2030 when that deal starts getting done?
What's gonna happen is they need to hope that Dark Outlaw, those former Treyarch devs, can make it happen.
Yeah.
You think they will?
No. because Jim Ryan never lied.
Yeah, I don't think
he said nobody can compete with Call of Duty. Why? Call of Duty, that was their number one article of business. $100 billion, $96 billion company at their peak.
And that's right.
With thousands of developers all dedicated to making this one game, leapfrogging 3 studios. And then the support studios that could have been making other games being help studios. Nobody can compete with that in that genre. You got Epic, right? But when it comes to like a Battlefield, we won't see another Battlefield for 5 years. It's like Halo. They're not prepared to have. They're not prepared. So what they're gonna have to do is make it into a platform where they do updates. But there won't be a new Black Ops 9 or Bad Company 2. It won't be there for another 5 years.
So
whatever's coming, Battlefield 2089.
When the 10-year deal's up. Sorry, PlayStation. Is that what you're saying?
Probably not.
I believe so because listen, this is what because I have to always, that email is always in the back of my mind because I'm looking at how Microsoft's trying to play chess, and it seems like that's not that. Since Phil and Sarah are gone, I'm assuming it didn't work. Y'all say that they weren't let go. I'm thinking they were because there was no reason to let go of them. There was no reason for them to leave. There was no reason to put Asha in front of Sarah if they were just running the company play and the company play was working. Because this whole thing started after ABK. They've been saying that it's been working. Feels like, don't worry about our financials. We're profitable. But then he wants to retire. He didn't even have to talk anymore. All he had to do is kick his feet up and make money. Who's going to retire from that? Baby, you just sit down and wait. This is generational wealth right now. You know what I'm saying? So I think that they were nudged out. That's just me. And until somebody says anything, because you're hearing all this stuff about Sarah now, right? Who speaks well of somebody that's next up? I mean, who's going to speak that bad of somebody that was next up? You don't hear anybody say anything about Phil that way, because Phil didn't have everything. Was the Xbox was not Phil. That was Sarah Bond.
Phil's kind of untouchable though.
Who basically said this was me, and you'll understand it, even though it came from Satya, or Satya told her to come up with something. Because to me, they took the cell phone approach with consoles, where you're trying to treat the people who might be customers better than your current customers.
I agree with that. I do agree with that.
Because you look at us, we're beta testers.
Yep.
Right. Because by the time it gets to PlayStation, they're on anniversary editions with next gen upgrades and stuff
when
like
they
that.
When they released Starfield and they got all the perks and stuff or Avowed and they got all that perks that we didn't have until they released it on PlayStation.
Yeah, because now they're talking about the new engine update is gonna come and then it's gonna go to PlayStation.
Yeah,
how we played the game.
I was saying that Starfield is going to PlayStation. I may want to pump the brakes on that now because I think Asha's. Here's what I do like about having someone outside. Okay, and I only know this from experience because I've worked in multiple fields that I wasn't an expert in either. Sometimes having a fresh person come in from the outside and ask the simple question, and why are we doing this again, can go a long way to really thought-provoking discussions and review, because there have been many times I've gone into a meeting where I'm outside in, and I usually ask the simple question in the first 5 minutes. If you can't tell me the answer in the first 5 minutes, I will, the project that we're talking about will probably end. I'm like, why are we doing this again? Like, why are we doing this? Somebody from the outside is going to ask that question more than someone on the inside, because someone on the inside is going to be, they're just going to be used to the culture. They're going to, well, that's what we always do. Somebody on the outside doesn't know that. So they're going to ask the question. So she's going to ask when which I would assume what she's doing now is going through all the studios, talking with all the people and talking with all the projects are. And she's probably asking those general specific questions. And why are we doing this again?
It's what we've always done.
Right. And, so why are we putting a game like Starfield on PlayStation? What do we get out of it? Yeah. Money? Does it help the brand? Like, I like that. And so I am reserving my judgment. I'm reserving my judgment for is developed for PlayStation. It's already developed for PlayStation, though. Oh well, I mean, maybe. I don't know, Punty, if how much it costs to development or not. Maybe they do it, maybe they don't. She said something that was probably the most truthful, honest answer to Jez that you can ask. She goes, "The plan is the plan until it's not the plan anymore." That's true. So maybe it's still in the plan. Maybe it is for PlayStation. Maybe she decides I don't want to do it now.
I don't want to do it. Guys.
She has the right. She's Satya's person. She's got full, she's probably got even more free reign than Sarah has now. Because she's Satya's hire. So.
Let's get going, guys.
It's not all doom and gloom, guys.
I need some medicine. Yeah, guys heard me cough. I'm like,
I need some bourbon.
I need some bourbon.
And honey.
Vodka, something.
And honey.
But it's fun. we'll see what happens from here on out then. Oops, Sick must have dropped.
Yeah, it'll.
He's so upset.
I think they're having their developer. I think in March this year. I think that's Xbox's her first really kind of showing as the new CEO. So we'll see what she does.
We'll see
I'm waiting. I don't need to judge her now because there's nothing for me to judge her on. Like I could care less about.
Just don't be a fake. That's the only thing.
Well, I mean, I get that, but but everybody's a fake, man. I mean, everybody in their own right.
Obvious, you know, you just been playing since
I don't
January.
care if she uses AI to talk to her responses. I don't care if her gamer score is not just her; it's her family members. I don't care. I want to know what you're going to do for the brand. That's it.
All right, Punny. Thank you for watching. Welcome back. Hopefully you'll come back.
Sega. Yeah.
Another day. But I need to go to get some medicine and go to bed because I haven't been feeling good all freaking week since I got back from Georgia. All right. Oh,
now he joins us.
Nah, I'm about to sign off. So.
Oh, just in time, huh?
Yeah. So, all right, guys. Thanks for popping
everybody.
up today. Appreciate it as always. And we'll talk in our little group spaces. All right.
All right.
All right.
Peace.